Hi everyone, thank you for joining me and welcome to this very special crystal grid activation and Reiki session. So we're doing a different kind of daily today. We're going to be focused on activating all of our chakras, working with platonic solids. As you can see, we have a ton of crystals here, and we're going to do Reiki in order to activate love. And of course, this is a part of the greater series to do with the red Tara. If you've never checked this out before, I did a whole series of videos for the red Tara explaining who she is or what she is. Also doing a 1-hour meditation on my meditation channel that's available down below, and then other sorts of things like pick a card. I'll link everything in the about section if you want to do more work with Tara or you want to learn more about it. But in the meantime, what we're going to do today, and you don't have to have watched another video, this is fine for you to watch this video on its own. We're going to do a crystal grid activation. You guys have seen that on my channel before. And then we're going to infuse it with Reiki, and then we're going to use the chakras as well as the platonic solids, as well as the Merkaba in order to activate this grid. Okay, so this is a crystal grid with Reiki, with crystals, and with Tara. So, and it is to bring love into our lives, specifically those kinds of romantic soulmate based relationships. If you guys want to kindly leave a like and a comment on the video, that helps it grow. Try to play it through to the end when you use this meditation, okay? So if you can see here, this is traditional incense from Tibet, and it's called rope incense. It's one of my favorite types of incense, so we're going to burn that in just a minute. So I have a bag here full of my tokens. I don't know if you guys remember my tokens, but I pulled out some specific ones, and we're going to work with them today. So I wanted to kind of bring them out, and we're going to put them on the grid in order to activate certain energies. We'll go through slowly, so I'll explain what each one is for you guys, okay? So I have all these tokens here. Let me just lay them out a little bit, and then we'll explain what they are, okay? And then we'll use them with crystals. I'll show you guys in a minute. So the first token I chose for today is the marriage token. So you can see the hearts kind of bound together. This is a traditional pagan symbol for marriage. So I hope that you guys kind of use that for your love circumstances, regardless of what they are. So we're going to leave that straight in the middle, okay? Next we have the 4 elements. We have air, fire, earth, and water, okay? So here are the 4 elements. Sorry about that. And I'm going to place them in terms of my position as I'm sitting, okay? So we have fire as close as possible. Let's see. This is probably fire. I'm trying to place the positions properly. And then we have water here. So I'm activating in relation to the way that I'm facing. So earth should go here, and then air over here, okay? So that's how we start. If somebody wants to do time caps for people who are catching up later, then please feel free to do so. So I also have all my chakra tokens as well, so we can activate the chakras with this. So first off, we have the crown chakra, right? That's the connection to the universe. Here we go. So she's here, and so let's connect her right away, right at the top, our connection to the universe. And then we have the rest of the chakras. So this is your third eye, right? So we're bringing the energy down into the body through the third eye, okay? So this is the heart chakra. Oops, I was not looking when I picked it up. So then we have the heart chakra, right? And so let's put that in here straight underneath. so that it connects through to the body down below. You'll see what we put down here in just a moment. And then you have your throat chakra for communication. Let's put that by air, right? Because we communicate through air. Our vocal cords string the air, so let's make that connection. So here is the solar plexus, right? Where do we want the solar plexus? Do we want it by fire? That sounds okay, right? There's no right way to do this. So just knowing the elemental dignities helps, or that kind of thing, or whatever purpose you're using it for. So, sorry, this wasn't the solar plexus. This is the sacral chakra. In my head, I was like, solar sacral. This is the sacral. But yeah, I put it down in the place that I wanted it to be. Solar plexus would be good also in the fire side. But why don't we put it through with water, okay? Through our desires and the things that we want to be. And then last but not least is the root, and we'll put it with earth. So that makes a lot of sense. It feels really on point. The last token that I want to use today is the blessings token. So again, this is a pagan symbol, and so it denotes blessings coming into our lives. So we're just getting started. So maybe this is the time to light the rope token, or the rope token, the rope incense. So let's do that first. They're really nice. I like them a lot. They're not too much, and they're very natural. They're hand rolled in monasteries in Tibet. So by using them, you're supporting that cause as well. So you guys may not see it burn. Here, I'll show you guys. Probably some people like to watch it burn. So hopefully it won't mess up us too much in terms of the autofocus. Okay, so this is just a local crystal. This is the local rock from the sediment from rivers around British Columbia. So it's quite beautiful. And I just have it as a little table. So here are our solids. Should we do those first? Probably. Let's see how many I can get out. Here's our Merkaba. I'll show you guys everything up close in just a minute. Okay. So we have 5. Good. So first we have the tetrahedron, which coincides with the element of fire. So there you go. We're going to put that on fire. Okay. So we're activating energy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I like to align it with this one because it actually fits the glyph. Next we have the hexahedron, which is earth, right? And these are crystals, by the way. This isn't glass. So these are crystals that are formed into the platonic solids. So we're going to put that on earth, okay? And here we have the icosahedron, which is water energy, right? Beautiful. I love the platonic solids. They're really cute. And then we have the octahedron, which is air, right? And fluorite is actually naturally forms in this way. Fluorite, the crystal that is associated with clear thinking. I almost used a fluorite today, but we're not going to. Can you guys smell the incense? I can smell it. It smells nice. There you go. Just burning very, very gently. And then at the center, I thought we would use the dodecahedron, sorry. And I wasn't sure whether to use the Merkaba in the center or this, but I really like this, so it can activate with the energy, right? So right at the center. And then the Merkaba we can use. Merkaba is a figure or a shape that is associated with ascension and connection to the universe and connection to our guides. It's a very good idea to have one. Now this is crystal, and I'm very lucky to have it, and I'll put it here in the blessings. So now I have crystals for you guys. I hope you guys don't mind. So I think I'm going to set this to the side, this is one of my favorite types of crystals. And if you guys want to do a timestamp, you can just kind of timestamp. This is when she did crystals. This is when she did this. That'd be fine. So this is your crystals. And so this is the candle quartz, and it's from Madagascar. And the nice thing about this one that's really, really cute is that it's actually a twin. So you can see, sorry about the autofocus, but it's a little twin. So we're talking about soulmates and twin flames today. So I'll set that to the side. Although I may need it. I don't remember if I grabbed enough crystals. So here is Larimar. This Larimar has a special story. So it's not a fancy Larimar. It hasn't been polished, but it's really cute. I bought this Larimar from a friend, and at the same time I met someone 2 years ago who also bought one, and we've become really, really good friends. I don't really meet people around the way, so it was just this very strange connection, and we've been good friends ever since. He's a Cancer Gemini, so he has that very kind of Cancerian Gemini energy, water and air. So why don't we put this with air for clear mind, clear perception, clear speech, healing speech, so that we're bringing good things into our relationships. Okay, I'm still deciding how to put everything. Okay, so here, I know this one. So here's a rose quartz heart. You can find them around the way. I like them. They're fun. So we'll put that here in the heart center, right? Since it's a love crystal activation. Here is another one of my favorite crystals. This is called kunzite, and it's kind of simple to look at, but its clarity, this one is very special. And it's like a little chunk of it, which I'm really, really happy to have. Kunzite is a high vibration stone that brings about, it doesn't show up that great in the camera here. If I hold it like this, you can see it. But it's a high vibration stone that is associated with bringing love to the world around us and really elevating the issue. A planet I associate this with is actually the Neptune. Sorry, not the Neptune, Neptune. And so I was thinking that we can put it here with the solar plexus and water to bring some really high vibration healing, not only to ourselves, but to the world around us. I have some rubies too. Hold on. It's not over yet, folks. Okay, and then we have the third eye. What do we want? Oh, I wanted to put this. You guys know this. I always use this because I love this guy. So this is my ruby. And this is the activation download, right? So you put your thumb on it. You guys can do it right now. You can pause the screen, see what you get today. And it'll be different information every time. That's why I reuse it. So you can pause the screen. You can screen cap and tag me on Instagram if you want. But yeah, activation download from the heart, you know, into our third eye. Awareness of higher realms and all that. Okay, so I have a few things left. Okay, so since we're dealing with the sacral chakra and fire, why don't I put this? This is from Asia as well. This is a little couple kissing. You guys probably have seen this on my Instagram. I love this. So in Thailand, these little figurines are really popular. They're also popular in India, but they usually don't have like personal scenes, right? So this is, a lot of them are really intense and X-rated, and this one is kind of more kind of gentle, but I recommend you check them out if you like collectible stuff. And these little figurines are meant to bring good luck in whatever kind of realm they are describing. And so we're going to put that here in the sacral chakra, right? So to really help with that energy, to help work it out, okay? And again, I think I made the error. So this, again, just in my head, I'm trying to consider a lot of different things. This is solar plexus, right? So it's that connection and will and desire towards others. And we're using kunzite to activate that because that's deeply connected with water and Neptune, right? And there's our water glyph and a icosahedron, right? And then what else do we have left? We have 2 spots. I ran out of spots. Oh, I have the topmost connection. So let's move the Merkaba actually up here to the crown chakra, right? That makes more sense. So we have our light vehicle there, right? So this is a nice connection. And then the froggy can go in the earth pile. Let's put the frog with the root chakra, because we've all evolved from somewhere and we're all going somewhere else. This little frog is made actually out of rose quartz as well. So this is really, really wonderful. And somebody just came in, my good friend. Hi. And so that mantra is wonderful. And I'm actually going to use it today. So stick around and check it out. And then in terms of blessings, I got this ruby and I really like it. So this is more love. These are all stones for love. One side is polished, one side is raw. I have a preference for unpolished stones. I don't usually show them because they're less flashy, but you know. So I have two surprises that I pulled out. You haven't seen them on the channel in a long time. And one is my favorite piece of Libyan desert glass. If you guys don't know, this is my favorite crystal, right? So, oh, thank you so much, Andrea, for the nice message. So Andrea just said she ordered my love spell and meditation package for the new year, and she has received her love partner, so she did the work. It's a beautiful package. I really love it. Let me know if you guys want another one for next year. But yeah, so this is my favorite crystal. Sorry for the interruption. And you guys can read the comments anyway, so I can talk to you guys in chat. But this is my favorite crystal. It's called Libyan desert glass. It's really hard to find. But what I love about this one is you can see the strata, and it's really thin, so you can hold it in your palm. So people ask me like manifestation stones. I think this is my favorite manifestation stone. It's very high vibration, it's very light, and it's got a buttery feel to it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it has a super buttery feel to it. So we'll use it today. I'm super stoked for that. I haven't used one for you guys in a long time. So this is actually coral, by the way, so I'm extra all down to the details. So this is petrified coral that was gutted, and so I use it as a bowl and other things as well. They're really beautiful. And then so the final crystal that I have for you guys, your guys' favorite, the moldavite, and this is like a little button of moldavite. People get so excited about it, but this one's really huge. It's really like a fatty. I know people have different ones, but I love the shape of this guy. So when we do our manifestation, I'm just trying to feel it out. This is the energy that we're going to bring in. High vibration, galactic awareness, right? Connection to high vibration entities like the red Tara. And then we're going to also project energy with your right hand using the Libyan desert glass. So now that we've nerded out for 20 minutes, that was a lot of information. The incense almost burnt out, so I'm almost called upon to grab another one, but I don't want to overdo it. Maybe that's enough for today. Anyway, the incense is with us. The force is with you, Varush. Okay, so if you guys want to get comfy, we're about to begin to do the Reiki meditation portion. If you want to do a time cap for this is great. So what we're actually doing is we're activating this grid, and then we're also adding Reiki to it. We're asking Tara to be present. She's with us right now. And so we're going to activate all this together for soulmate and love, to bring love into your life. If you use a different modality, energy modality in healing, if you have your own, feel free to add whatever energy modality you have into this video. So we want it to grow and grow and grow, right? So I'm excited to this. I'm so shaking, so excited. And I explained everything pretty good. I made one mistake. Hey girl, hey, that's all right. So now let's begin. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's what I was going to say. At the end of this meditation, I'm going to pick 3 cards from the Brow Tele to help us focus and maybe give you some extra information. So you want to stick around for that, okay? So thank you guys so much for being here, and let's begin the meditation. It's going to be about 15 minutes long, and then I'll be back to do the bracelet, okay? Oh, shoot, I forgot one most important thing. I hope everything doesn't fall apart. Hold on. I was looking for this. So we haven't forgot my Lumerian twin crystal quartz that I found randomly this year. It just fell into my hands. It was hiding. It was waiting for me, and it's so beautiful. So let's put that here to overlook this. And it's shooting straight at you, right? So it's bringing you love. Yay! Okay, so let's begin. So thanks, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this session for Reiki and crystals and crystal grid activation. I'm going to take all these crystals and tokens off now, and I'm collecting them for the full moon eclipse. You don't have to watch this around an eclipse, but it's being activated through the Aquarian eclipse. Of course, I have my moon in Aquarius, so this is powerful stuff for me. So we're going to stick them all in the bag, and then we're going to pick 3 Braille cards that I want you guys to interpret and tell me what the meaning is down below. These are cards that are connected specifically for this activation. Whatever message that you get, you can share or you can keep it to yourself, whatever you like. But first, let's put all these away into the bag. It's just such a special moment. I'm going to separate a separate video for just the Reiki, and I think I'll put it on the meditation channel. So if you guys just want to watch the Reiki, I'll put the link to that in the about section when it's ready, so you guys can check out one or both videos, okay? So there we go. So that's okay. So here is our crystal bag. I'm going to save it. I'm going to store it. And then when we have the eclipse, I'm going to put it out, right out. Okay. So now let's begin with the Braille. So let's set these to the side. I find the Braille very powerful cards, and I'm super in tune with them. I've had them for a couple years now, and they're just growing on me as I get to know them more and more. So they're very, very powerful messages. So if you guys want, at first I'm just going to show you the cards and read the message. So my suggestion is that you just relax and just take some deep breathing, especially if you've done the meditation before and the chakra activation and the crystal grid activation, as well as the Reiki, of course. And so now we're going to pick 3 cards. And first of all, I will show you the cards, read off the word, and I'll let you kind of have a moment to interpret for yourself. And then when you are ready, you can, I'll interpret a little bit of a message at the end, okay? Great. So now I'm going to play the music again. Thank you for the nice comment. I actually made that, so that's my Red Tara meditation. Sorry if I'm repeating for those of you guys who already heard this, but this is the Red Tara meditation that I created, and you guys can hear the full 1-hour version in the about section below, okay? So let's check this out. Let's see what we get. Ready? So just relax. Maybe I'll play you a little chime so you can feel more relaxed. Okay. Here we go. So we have people. And then far away. And the third card is perseverance. So I hope you had enough time to kind of think about these cards and connect with them yourself. At first it can be a little intimidating because there's over 100 cards in this deck. But this first card is the People card, which is actually the High Priestess. So a high vibration connection to the universe is around you at this time. And far away, there has been some distance in one way or another as a part of the relationships that you are considering at this time. But I feel like this supersedes, like the high priestess can be in all places at the same time. So far away and distance is not necessarily that strange for her. It's a part of her and everything that she encompasses. The next message is perseverance. I think the people in these situations have been very much, for many, many generations, trying to fight for themselves, for their survival, for their identity. And it's that carries through the perseverance, the tenacity, the commitment to yourself and to your family and to your bloodline and lineage, right? Not in a cultural sense, but in the sense of your family and how it proliferates and how it interacts with other families, because ultimately we are all a part of one large collective. And so therefore that distance that is between us is actually no distance at all, because we are all connected through the things that we desire, the things that we want to bring about in this human connection. Bye guys, thank you for being here. As a little tip, you can take a nap now if you can. It might be a good idea. Let it all sink in. Have a nice day. Bye, we'll see you soon. Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to this video for November, the new moon that's in Scorpio on the 7th and the 8th of November. I'm excited to be here with you guys to take a look at the energies. Just peeked, you had the 9 of Cups on the bottom, so your wish is being fulfilled. So congratulations. Shaking your hand right here. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what energy you have for the new moon. You have the Fool. Hey girl, hey, a new beginning. I love this Fool card. This is the Mary L. Tarot. We'll take a look at all the astrology and stuff in a minute, but let's get acquainted with the energy. And then we have the World card. My goodness, so this is something of the world, something bigger than yourself is coming in. Let's see what the third card is. Ooh, this one's pretty, hey? It's the 3 of Cups. Celebration. So something wonderful is coming your way. I think that there's a bit of an expansion, completion of a cycle, and celebration. Whenever I had big cycles complete in my life, I would like go see a concert, like a particularly big concert, or I'd find myself in like some kind of, you know, place where there was like an active celebration, and I just I went out a lot, but there would be a certain air about it that be very celebratory, and you could feel like it was the end of an era, and you felt very good for the energy that you were experiencing. So I sense it's something like this. It's some kind of party. It's some kind of wonderful event that happens that makes you very, very happy. So that is coming up for you. Let's take a look at the sign we are looking at, and it is Leo. Hey Leo, how's it going? You guys are off to some kind of great event. Now I'm reading on the 30th, so we could be picking up the energy for the 31st, right? Because I'm sure many of you guys are at parties and stuff through the new moon or through Halloween. But I feel like maybe your new beginning has to do with home and family, and I feel like it's a really blessed time for you. This new moon is very soft and special and nice. It's conjunct a bunch of stars. I'll talk about stars and asteroids on Vimeo. It's linked in it's linked in the November Vimeo series. But for our purpose here, just to keep things quite concise and clear, we have a sextile between Pluto and the Sun. And so this is like new energy opened up through your home and through your family, but it's activated by some events that have been coming up for you on a daily basis. So your life is pretty busy right now, pretty packed full and solid of activity. But there's a certain rhythm to it. There's a certain pattern. If you take a look closely at your life at this time, it does kind of come through in a certain sequence. And if you take a look at that sequence is activating the sun and the moon and Jupiter in your fourth house. And so it's placing you in a certain place to have a certain type of experience with certain types of people. So very important to pay attention to this energy. And I think it's going to be quite, inspiring for you in which way you're supposed to go now. Now, Jupiter is here as well. It's the last minutes of Jupiter in Scorpio. And then Jupiter will move into Sag on the following day, on the 8th. I'll do a separate video for that. That's why I'm filming this one so early. But Jupiter is actually aspecting the North Node in Leo and the South Node in Aquarius through sextiles and through trines. So the energy is really moving from partnership, releasing old partnership patterns, and towards unfolding new leaves of your personality, which is the North Node. And the node is also switching over the next little while. There's a couple different ways to count that. So there's one kind of on the 7th, on the 8th, and then there's one on the 16th. So they're both correct, and so it's not too it is what it is. Anyway, so we have this kind of movement of energy from releasing unhealthy patternship. We know that word, patternship, patternship, partnership patterns, and kind of allowing ourselves to become something new. A new aspect of ourselves can emerge. So you should really provide for yourself you should allow for yourself for the permission to really enjoy whatever new aspect of yourself is emerging. So it is a bit of a celebration. It is a bit of a good time, and I think that you should be very open to it. You should be very aware and open to it, and see what it brings to you, and what kind of epiphanies come through, and what kind of awareness. Okay, so I'll talk about Uranus and Mercury and the fixed stars on Vimeo, but for here I want to pick 3 cards from the Starseed Tarot and give you guys more insight. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the first message is the 7 of Crystals. Somebody else got this card, and what this card really signifies is that this is the 6th house. I believe this is the kind of anchoring of energy on some kind of pattern, and that pattern is set out before you, just like the crystals in front of this man. So in some way he's now contemplating how he is going to, how he is going to use those things before him to make kind of plans for the future, or take the next step, So maybe it's not the end of the goal, but it is kind of the end point of one aspect of it. And now you're setting off the second stage, the next turnaround, the next moment. The next card is the 8 of Orbs, which is the 8 of Swords. And so I feel like maybe you will hit a bit of a roadblock, or you'll be troubleshooting exactly how to make the things you want to change around you move forward. For some of you, this could be buying a home, but there could be some potential kind of problems with doing so that you're going to have to problem solve. This card just means that you have to spend some time to think about what you're doing, and it might not come to you just super easy. You might have to think about it a little bit. The next message is reflection, which is the Hermit card. And so I feel like this is Virgo. I feel like you're going to take some time out, Leo. I think this is going to really pull you into the home, pull you into your comfort zone and spend some time there, and I think you'll feel really good for it. I think that the North Node moving into your 12th house, it'll make you much more private. I was much more private this year than previous years, and the South Node into your 6th house will really help you to release like patterns of doing things every day. Those patterns, you're going to kind of do them differently now. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And oh, one more thing. On the Vimeo reading where I'll do your fixed star astrology, I'm going to also pick 4 cards from this deck. On the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Angels. So he is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this is a person who will be a part of your experience. The only transit that we were talking about that is an air sign is that South Node partnership thing. So maybe in some ways you are trying, maybe not breaking up with someone, but definitely trying to figure out how you're going to do things for yourself and how to move forward more independently. I feel like you're taking a step back from a relationship or a situation. Even if you're still in a relationship, still in a partnership, you're really thinking about how to maybe have more security on your own. Maybe you feel like you have too much joint security at this time, or maybe something's come up that made you really aware that you're too dependent on someone else and their situation. So maybe in some way you're kind of contemplating maybe not necessarily breaking up with anyone, but really leveling up to that next stage. What is the next thing that you're going to do? I have a sense for that for many of you. This is going to do with buying a home. So you might be actually thinking about buying a home alone or on your own in order to make yourself more financially independent, which is great. So nothing bad here at all. And I hope you guys have a wonderful new moon. This is also releasing attachment to expectations in partnerships. So whatever the expectations are, I think you're leaving those behind. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a nice day. I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi guys, thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for Venus retrograde. I'm excited to be here with you guys. I don't know what sign I'm reading for yet, but you guys know. So first of all, let's pick 3 cards to warm me up. So you guys already know what sign it is, but I don't. So we have the 2 of Pentacles. This is the Dame Darcy deck. And the Empress. Okay. And so the 10 of Cups. Hey girl, hey. Okay, that's cool. So right away it looks as though this retrograde period will have a lot to do with motherhood and mothers, you know, as an archetype, and also coming together in families. This is a slow progress towards a good situation for you. The angel card that I want to pick for you guys is intention. So I think maybe if you've been on the fence about starting a family, maybe this is a time in which that really picks up for you. Now let's find out what sign we're reading for. Maybe you don't, maybe now it's looking like a good option, a good opportunity. Maybe if you date women, then you've met the woman of your dreams and you're moving towards a good relationship together. Let's find out what sign this is for. So this is for Gemini. Ooh, hey girl, hey. This really matches your full moon reading for September. So I'm going to get your chart ready. In the meantime, I want you guys to hit the notification bell down below, and that will get you notified about my videos and all the content that I put out for you guys. Also, today I'm going to do a full heart-shaped spread with this deck, the Dame Darcy deck, on Vimeo, and that will be included in your October playlist. So make sure to get the buy all option in October, and then you'll get your monthly and the Venus retrograde special spread. So I hope that works out for you guys. I'm excited to be able to bring that to you. And yeah, so let's begin. So where did this come from? Libra was straggling right behind. So Libra's like, I want in on this action. So let's let's put Dame Darcy over here. So we'll keep that for the heart-shaped spread to kind of keep us entertained later. But yeah, maybe there's some kind of coming together and a family situation that's becoming available for you now, Gemini. Oh, I've totally. And that came through in your full moon reading for the full moon in Aries as well, really strongly. Motherhood, those kinds of things. If you don't want children, that's fine. But it's a time of creativity and being with family, you know? So this is the Lucy Cavendish deck, which I absolutely love, and I couldn't get my settings right to be able to show it. Oh, by the way, I should show your astrology before I cover it up, but we'll read with this deck next. So here is your spread, sorry. And so the retrograde period is happening between your 6th and your 5th house. In October, it may be less to do with romance and more to do with people that you see on the day-to-day. Whereas on the 31st of October, when Venus moves into your 5th house in Libra, that's when the more romantic side of this may take place. This is almost pointing to the fact that there may have been a missed opportunity, or maybe you were too busy with other things. Distractions were an issue for you to settle into the right relationship. I feel as though for some of you, this is going to be a very interesting connection because Uranus is right in opposition to this transit, which means that at this time, Uranus is one of the guys of the zodiac, right? He's one of them boys, and so in some way I feel as though he's scoping out what Venus is doing, and in some way you are being influenced by that kind of perception. Something to do with your spirituality is being kind of glitched a little bit. It's taking a little bit of a shift, and that little shift is actually allowing you to maybe see things from a different perspective, or maybe be more cooperative with the person that you love. So I wish you all the best in that. So let's find out what the Lucy Cavendish deck says. Let's see your cards. So we have the Star. Great. That's soulmate card. It has to do with perfect connections. We have the Change, release the past. That's the card of Scorpio. It's a death card. I'm going to try to lay down 9 cards here for you guys. And then we have the Four of Swords. So I feel as though an abrupt change becomes available for you. There's a lot going on in your 8th house, so this is going to be continuing as a theme for the next couple years. And I think a quick change happens, and then you need some rest. Let's see what the next row brings. You have the 9 of Wands, and so in some way I think that swift change, excitement, process forward, progress forward, and then suddenly that you just need a break. You need to take, you know, a kind of decompress. And I think that you will successfully find a place to kind of snuggle up in and feel comfortable in. Here is the next message. Ooh, right at the center, Wheel of Fortune. So good fortune is with you at this time. I think you're heading in the right direction, and tradition, which is the Hierophant card or the card of Taurus. So I feel like soon enough there will be a change in a positive direction. However, I think that you expel a lot of energy at the beginning of this transit. Venus is going to be in your 6th house of due diligence, daily activity, and all of that stuff. So that could make sense. And then essentially you will be in some way needing some downtime for maybe a week and a half, at which point things will pick up for you again and progress will be made forward. Next is the Strength card. So now we're talking about Leo, and we have the Tower, and then the 7 of Wands. Humility, Gemini. Humility. Sorry, these cards really do show up funny in some places. That's why I don't use them so much, but I love them. Probably some of my favorite cards. So the Hay House cards always like fit really well into your hand. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. Okay, so what we're looking at is that there is a, okay, so here we go. There is a humbling moment that comes to you in September or October, and that humbling moment allows you to draw a bridge towards the person that you really want to be with. And I think that there are certain things stopping you, such as success, such as your progress in the directions you have been going. You overwhelmingly pour yourself into what you've been doing, so much so that you end up in this situation where you just need a break and you just need a rest. So I feel as though this is like focus intention time with Venus retrograde. What are you going to let go of? What have you done in the past that left you single, and alone? And I think what it was is that you prioritized the task in front of the people, and so in some way you have alienated yourself in the past from situations, by overworking, by committing yourself to work, by just slugging away at things, and in some way taking the hit for your personal interconnections. And I think that there's so many abundant things around you now. There's just so many abundant things that are bringing you a lot of things that you really want, but it's also sort of burning you out. They're like bursts of energy, really hyper energy, quick changes, go do this, go do that. You're being stretched left, right, and center. And I think that at the end of the day, you need to slow down at times and really decompress. Intention, I put it on the Four of Swords, and I think that in some way means that, rest when you sleep and make sure that you give yourself that kind of healing energy. I feel like in some way that you will take a step back, and this came up in your full moon reading again, take a step back and reassess which direction you want to go. This may have to do with other people that you're involved in, and also kind of thinking about maybe different approaches to things. I feel like in that kind of personal drawback, that personal step back that you are taking to observe and to study, you will find an answer towards something that you want. And you may be surprised that the answer will be something different than what you have been doing all along. I feel as though in some way you take a look at some of the directions that you have been going, and you have your aha moments, and you think to yourself, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I should have done that differently. Ultimately, I think that will leave you kind of frazzled, and you're like, Varush, it's a Venus, it means love. And it's like, yeah, well, this is what's going on for you in love. You're moving towards love, and maybe a little bit of frailty, a little bit of a shocker to the system will motivate you to join a bridge towards someone else, and really kind of open yourself up towards bringing someone in a bit more. It could be at first just friends, even female friends, or same gender, whatever, it doesn't matter, platonic friends, and then slowly we'll integrate more romantic relationships into your situation. Remember, before I knew what sign it was, I picked the 10 of Cups. So I think that this is the outcome of the situation, and I think that this person will love the high energy around you. I think that a lot of people around you were not able to kind of handle what you were like, or what you have been like. It's almost like spastic, like 1 second you're really high, the other second you're really low. I'm not suggesting borderline bipolar disorder. This is not my business here, but yeah, just the spastic energy energetically around you. There's like a lot, and then there's little, and then there's a lot, and you burn out and you crash. So there's this kind of polarity that you're going through, as if you had some kind of emotional issue, but it's not that. It's the energy around you. Now, if you feel like you have an emotional issue, go see a doctor. That's totally cool. But like, I think that there's this kind of, the energy around you is like tugging at you in every direction. So you need to calm down to get into that Empress energy and really reconnect. And the first card was the Two of Pentacles. It's saying go a bit slower, and there's this like stop and go that ultimately will lead you to an epiphany. It will lead you to an awareness that you want to go slightly a different direction, not a huge direction difference, but I think some changes need to happen, and I think that you're thinking of better change for yourself. You're thinking of improvements and excitement and what good things will come. And I think this is humility. I think in some way there is going to be a humbling moment through this transit in which you will find someone or identify someone who really is a good match for you. So hopefully, or maybe a quality that you really need to look for. And when you have that aha moment, maybe you'll identify that in someone you know, or maybe you'll start looking around at the field and start trying to see if there's someone there. So yeah, pretty intense so far. Maybe we should do a couple cards for the heart. Well, why don't we start with these cards for the heart, and then we'll expand upon them. So this will be our starting point. The Empress in some way needing to kind of nurture herself, or the Emperor who's looking for his Empress needs to slow down a little bit in order to not miss the roses. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this reading, and have a wonderful Venus retrograde. Again, check out the VOD pages down below on Vimeo, and if you've already rented the package for October, hey girl, hey, thank you so much for supporting me in the channel. Have a wonderful Venus retrograde. Don't be afraid, it's gonna end in wonderful things, I'm sure. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. So I'm reading for one of these signs. Because there's two cards, I kind of know which one of the signs is, so I had to do that a lot to make sure that I put away the right, I lose track of it, right? Can you guys leave a comment and a like on the video? I'm so sad, it's the first day of fall weather in Vancouver. I'm filming on the 23rd of October, and it's actually cloudy outside, and in Vancouver it's like sunny all of October, and then usually at the end of October, beginning of November, we just get clouds, and they stay here until April. So it's the beginning of the rain season. It's a temperate rainforest, so you know. Anyway, so here is your message. We have the snake. This has been coming up a lot for people, so this kind of energy in which you should kind of watch out. Ooh, somebody new coming in. Okay, so somebody new coming in, but I think you should pay attention to them to make sure that they are okay. I think that somebody who's very social is coming into your life, or in some way somebody who has a lot of social mobility. This is a person who likes to go out a lot. This is like a hipster type of energy. So this person knows what's good, they know what's going on, and they go for it. So that's exciting. The sign we're reading for is Virgo. Hey Virgo, how's it going? I didn't know it was you at all. If you guys want to watch your November readings, they're down below for the tarot, and I did two for Virgo. I separated the video into two parts because they was getting too long-winded with just one video. So now you have two, and now you have three. So hey girl, hey. There's also the Vimeo reading down below, so go check that out. The next message is we have the ship. And then choices, that's the paths card in other decks. And then we have the bear. So I feel like new opportunities coming in. This month you are making a decision, Virgo, a decision between two different paths. So you need to start thinking about which way you want to go. I feel like something is leading you to a possibility for travel. So you may have the opportunity to travel somewhere, go see someone. I feel like maybe you're making a decision about a relationship with someone. Somebody is sticking out from all the people that you know that you've been connecting with. Also, I feel like you're making a decision whether or not to let someone into your life. So you're deciding whether or not that's the right choice for you. The next message is the mice. That's come up also a lot. And then we have the lilies. Okay. And then finally, last but not least, we have the mountain. Okay, so at the end of the month, most likely your maturity, you're not going to rush into problems this month, that's for sure. I feel like you are deciding about what the choice is, and the decision that you'll make is the mature decision. I know that's not fun, but it really is going to keep you out of trouble in the long run. I feel as though one person's going to stand out from the crowd. You might have like your eyes on them. They might be looking extra cute, but also I feel like by the end of the month, there's going to be an obstacle that arises that's going to keep you from fully stepping into a relationship, friendship with this individual. And I think that that's necessary because I think a lot's coming at you at once. there could be somebody coming from far away. There could be in some way someone doing some manipulating and coercion. I feel as though there's also people who want to kind of scrounge off of you a little bit, and so I feel like you're keen to see all of it. You see it all coming at you. There will be no surprises in November, but I think you're going to have to figure out, who to let in, how much, and in what proportion, okay? On the bottom we have the letter. Everybody's getting this. Mercury is in retrograde from the 16th, so there's a letter coming through, and I feel like that's going to possibly open up some of these opportunities around you, but I think it's going to be time for you to decide. I don't think you'll make the decision about things in November. I think it's going to be postponed until December or so, because I think that you're going to employ a lot of personal strength and a lot of maturity to really be like, I need to think about this a bit more, which is good, because I think that some of these things are beyond just a fun trip. Some of these things are big life decisions or things that will lead to big life consequences, so you don't want to rush. And in fact, some of those things you would have been open towards had you not realized that there was like subtext there was other things going on. So it's like somebody wants to help you with something, you know, and they're like, hey, how's it going, you know, and just being like super friendly and super nice. And what you may figure out is that this person has their own agenda. Maybe they want you to do something for them. Maybe they want a little piece of your business, you know, maybe, just maybe, there's something else going on. So be aware of that, pay attention, and yeah, just keep your eyes open, and don't be worried that you're going to put a pause to something at the end of the month. You're just going to figure out what is the best path forward. And in some respects, I feel like the bear is going to advise you in a way, like you should really take some time to make these decisions right now. There's too much going on, you know? So enjoy your month in November. This is just a little bit more clarity. I hope it helps. And I will talk with you soon. Take care, Virgo. Bye. Hi, Pisces. Thank you for joining me, and welcome to your full moon reading. I'm super excited for you guys. I know it's Pisces because you're the last sign, so the last sign won't get a random pick and a blind reading. So can't do anything about it, but I'm excited about. Give me a thumbs up for that. Also, if you're new, speaking of stuff that I gotta tell you, but I don't like telling you, but I gotta tell you, make sure that by the subscribe button, you hit that bell and it turns on notifications so you know when I'm live, because we're gonna have party time. And welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. So we're gonna pick 3 cards from the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, which I love. I love the print quality of this so much, and the illustrations are really cool too. So we have the Chariot, another water card ruled by Cancer. We have the Knight of Wands, somebody's coming in, your heart's healing, and then the Queen of Swords. Okay, maybe not. Maybe as your heart's healing, there could be someone who's causing a disturbance around you, and it's antagonizing you, and it doesn't feel super good. And they could be either coming or going, triggering abandonment issues. And I think that you're going to decide to either separate yourself from this person or kind of just distance yourself for a time, because you feel really good. You feel really good here, and then suddenly he gets rambunctious or she gets rambunctious, and they start behaving strange. This person is a Sag, Leo, or Aries sun, moon, or rising, and this is a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra sun, moon, or rising. But I think this is more to do with the situation. And the card that I pulled from the Angel card, you guys probably can't see because it's so bright in here, is discernment. So it's about making the right decisions for you. This is a continual theme for Pisces. Right now it's coming up a lot that you guys are sticking up for yourself more kind of minding your boundaries and saying no more often, which is good. So I actually took a break since I read the last one. I was Taurus. I was really, really tired and it wasn't coming out well. So I'm hoping that your reading will be great. These readings I will expand upon on Vimeo, and you guys can get that with your October package. The Vimeo readings for Venus retrograde are short, so it's really just a bonus if you want the monthly reading. But thank you to everybody who's supporting me in the channel. It really is important for the health of the channel and my health as well. So thank you so much for helping me. And you can, if you do want to support me, you can go down into the About section, okay? Okay, so here we go. And we have the first message, follow your dreams, the Ace of Wands. And this is the heart-shaped spread, and the first card represents where you are starting off with your partner. So this is the energy that you are starting off with. There's a lot of passion in this relationship. This can also mean that you have a crush on someone if you're single. So you have a lot of passion in a situation, and the card is saying follow your dreams. So it's really encouraging you to move forward on something, on a situation that you're scoping out, or if you're with a partner, there's a lot of chemistry there. Your ideal for the relationship, we have the Three of Cups, celebration and bounty. And then the second card is the Sun. So you're hoping for a happy, healthy relationship. You're willing to contribute to it. You want to have a lot of fun. You want to reap in and bring in all those positive energies that could be available to you with the right type of partner. If you have that current partner, then everything is great. If you haven't met that person yet, then that's what you're looking for. It's a non-negotiable kind of thing. You have to, you really, really need that happiness and joy. And that's good, because that's what's within yourself. That's where we should look for relationships from the place. Your partner has the Strength card, so they're looking for passion. If you know your partner already, that's great. If not, this could be the universe, the energy that is bringing into your life, the love energy, or the next partner that is coming in, the next soulmate. So you have the Strength card. So this person wants a lot of passion. They want an open heart. They want a deep connection. They really want to connect with the person that they're with. The next card is, and sorry about the quality of this, some of these cards in these light ones don't show up very well, so I'll just read it to you. Your Own Power, which is the Two of Wands. I mean, it does show up well. You can see the girl. It's just it kind of disappears. There you go. You can see it there there you go. Anyway, so the Two of Wands is like perspective. They want someone who's a visionary like they are. They want someone who is going to go after adventures when they're available. They really want positivity to come through in their life and hope to come through for them so that they can really branch out in new directions. The next step for you is here, and you have the World. So this might involve travel or relocation. So you may in some way be moving into a new direction and really kind of embracing it as though it's your destiny. I think that you're hoping for expansion for yourself, new horizons, opportunities. You really want to cut through this kind of stuff, the BS that we saw in the first spread. This kind of like, you're happy, they bring you down, and you cry, right? Like, you don't want that situation. So you're completely opening yourself. You're creating a life in which there will be happiness and joy that comes through for you. The next message is they want the Empress. So they want you very much, or if this is a woman, then she wants to feel adored, and she wants to feel as though she is, you know, a way that recognizes how beautiful she is, a way that recognizes her special qualities, her virtues, and all of that. Okay, the next message is, these are advice cards for you. You have the Eight of Cups, and I'll tell you the second one. You have the Two of Cups, but this kind of came out with it too. So this is the Seven of Wands. This is like the worst quality video. I have to say sorry, but just stick with me. It's a good reading though, so I don't really want to delete it. So anyway, we have the Eight of Cups. in some way you have to let go of some of the high expectations that you're setting up in this relationship, because you're going to end up really overpowering the good dynamic that you have, or the good dynamic that you're heading towards. I feel like maybe this has to do with being hurt in the past, and so in some way you want to separate yourself from that type of energy, that type of quality. And then the second piece of advice is like, draw a bridge in love. Share with the other person how you feel. Share with the other person what's on your mind and what you want in the relationship. 2 advice cards for your partner. They have the Six of Rods, Wisdom of Experience, and the 9 of Swords. So they have an issue to address. It's a stress building issue, and I think that maybe it has to do with their health, or maybe it has to do with the way that they work with stress. It's really hard when you're meeting someone and everything's perfect, and your life is happy and everything's great, and you don't see how they deal with stress or difficult situations, because when people are stressed, you see a different aspect of their personality. And so if everything's perfect, everything's fine, you don't see the faults, you don't see the challenged position, right? So one way to get to know someone is to really see how they behave under stress. I learned that lesson very well last year. And so you see the true intentions come through in behaviors of people who are really, really upset or whatnot. Not that anything's coming through, but I think that you should just be mindful when dealing with this individual, because they are working through certain things and they need to take time apart. So if they're pushing towards you because they have passion for you and all this stuff, it's on you to kind of put the brakes on them a little bit and say, whoa, wait a minute, you really want to take a look at these things and think about them for yourself. I feel also that they have to feel victorious for whatever circumstances they are overcoming. Whatever circumstances they are persevering through, that's wonderful, Pisces. There's going to be real overcoming and movement towards a new direction. So it's kind of on you to make the bridge with the other person, and I think that there's great passion that is shared between the two of you. The outcome card is the Wheel of Fortune. So hey girl, hey. It's really bright in here. That's why the cards are so light. But it's kind of good too. It's a good omen when the sun comes in like this. It's actually beating off the window of another building. So right into this one. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, change, action, improvement in a new direction, hope, opportunity, abundance, growth. All of those things are coming together. So it looks like you're in a wonderful relationship. It looks like it's a normal relationship where someone has a problem, or maybe you have a little bit too much ambition. But those are things that are normal for everyone. So I would not necessarily think that there's anything to be uncomfortable or worried about. I think that an advice that was smart was take a step back and in some way just assess your circumstances and maybe tone down the ambitions, because sometimes people have to work through certain things. And also encourage your partner. If they're wanting to hang out all the time every day or something, then maybe you just want to say, oh, chill out a little bit, take a look at your stuff and address some of that. Well, be careful how you say it, of course, but guide them towards and support them in doing that, so they feel nurtured and helped, and they'll appreciate you for it, right? Okay, so one thing I forgot to do before, is the astrology. So let's explain it now using astrology. It's a little thing. I have my little chart. This gave me life this year, this little thing. I love it so much. Okay. It's like my toy. I'm like your weather girl. It's this is the same thing as they do on the weather channels. Okay. So anyway, so this is your Venus retrograde. It's going between your 9th and your 8th house. So it starts off in the 9th house with ideas, and this is where you're really coming to completion and closure on how you feel about things. This is where you feel compelled to close out situations, find full closure. Venus leaves Scorpio on the 31st of October and heads into Libra for November. She will retrograde until the 16th, and that's your 8th house, and this is where a lot of changes will happen for you. And I feel like maybe that you might be transitioning between a relationship, and this wonderful relationship that we just saw in the other spread was actually a reflection of your it was just a reflection of, excuse me, it was a reflection of what am I trying to say, of the second relationship that's coming through. So there might be, I feel as though there is this kind of, I feel like you're happy and then somebody rolls through and it leaves you unhappy because of their vibration. Another life lesson for this year. It's like when people roll through, you got to really be careful what kind of energy they're slinging, right? So I think that maybe this is a part of it. Maybe this is a part of you trying to figure out where you stand with people. Now I'm going to go to Vimeo and I'm going to expand upon this and put 6 more cards down. It's not a big reading, but if you guys do want to support me in the channel, if you want to watch the October videos, then go down below and get that. Okay, thanks a lot, Pisces. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Venus retrograde, and I hope that you guys give me lots of comments because those help. Okay, thank you. Bye. Cancer, thank you for joining me and welcome to your reading for December. Happy holidays, you guys, and thank you for being here. This is your reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising Cancer for the month of December. I have your 2019s down below in your playlist, as well as other readings in your playlist you may want to check out. This is your Vimeo reading that I do every month. It's a 21 card spread on Vimeo. That's linked in the About section if you want to check it out. What I do here is tell you guys what's going on with the court cards. And you do have a lot of relationship-based kind of things going on in December, but it's more about the self. It's more about how you relate to relationships, closing out possibly some relationships from the past, and then moving forward with better alignment and better circumstances, and most importantly with a better mindset, and learning some hard lessons through that process as well. So hey girl, hey. Okay, so let's take a look at the court cards. After that I'll break down your astrology and then we'll do a tarot card reading all in half an hour. Hey girl, hey. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. So your first card is the King of Cups. He's a Pisces, a Cancer, or Scorpio. There's some indication that Pisces is really, really important for you this month, so keep an eye out. This King of Cups is in the seed of Virgo, so this person may be a Virgo as well. I feel like this is a person with whom you may share a history, a relationship history in some way, and it could be a man or a woman. And so I feel like maybe there is a bit of a heartbreak that motivates you to move forward in a practical way, taking a look at some realities that you've been avoiding. So this person is steadfast and they continue in your relationship in your life through December, and I feel like it's actually leading to good things. So very positive energy, very positive vibe that will be with you throughout December. We have the Page of Swords. Pages to me more represent states of being than people, but it could be a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, man or woman, a young person. I feel like this person will be the instigator of a lot of change in ideas, change in perspectives, a new way of looking at things. So you may have a conversation with someone who kind of gives you an idea of how to look at things a bit different. I think that this will be a lot of kind of like emotional release, so you won't feel so stressed out about it. And then there is the Page of Wands, a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And this person, in some way, you're really creating a deeper bond with. And I feel like there is even a soulmate type connection there, where there's a real understanding between people, a real consideration, a friendship. And I think that that is replacing some other relationships that you feel really left you like high and dry or without too much positivity or good feelings. It feels like you enter the month really feeling as though there is a lack of good people to even find. So I think that there's this kind of feeling of like, where I'm surrounded by zombies or something. Like you have this feeling that you're like in some kind of dystopic desert where there's no people with feelings or emotions. So it may go beyond just being hurt by one individual. It may be just a hurt perspective because of the intensity and the types of people you have been interacting with. So really getting you down or making you feel not that well about people in general. So I feel like moving forward here, there is a emperor. Now this could be your partner, or this could be you, and this person is going to really help you with kind of feeling good about everything more towards the end of the month. So maybe this has to do with the holidays. And let's mention this card just in case you don't get the Vimeo. There's a circumstance with possibly a soulmate. This person can be a friend or a relationship that really breaks you down because you have to assert something to them or with them, and it's really hard to let them down or say something to them that's like harsh or critical, and it's hard for you to do so. It's hard for you to hurt this person, but it's kind of a conflict of interest where you kind of have to do that for yourself. The encouraging thing is that it depends on how you do it. If you do it in a kind and just manner, if you're not doing things in a negative way, then I think that this conversation or this event is not going to be like relationship breaking. It may ruffle somebody's feathers, but I think that it's a part of your greater life lesson that to try to avoid situations like the one that you enter December with, and you're victorious. So you just have to put in the work and you'll get there. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your transits. I have this month in December, the transits are really divided into 4 parts, and each part is associated with one house or one sign. So it's an easy one to read for us, and that's why I can fit everything in to one video. So we're going to do the breakdown of the transits right now. If you haven't liked or commented yet, then please do so at this time. And yeah, let's just talk about what's going on for Cancer. Okay, so I have the Templar Tarot, which is one of my favorite decks. It's kind of like Christmassy, so hopefully that brightens the mood. Okay, so the first transits are at the beginning of December, and maybe this is where this is all coming from because it's all in Scorpio. And so we have Venus moving into Scorpio on the 2nd of December after her retrograde period in the 4th house. So lots of family stuff has been coming up for you, especially in November. And so now that Venus moves into the 5th house, you know, romance will take an increase through this time. Venus in the 5th house, the 5th house is romance, so that should be kind of like improving and getting better, and that's where that Emperor comes in. That's where the King of Cups comes in, and there's a lot of like positive like vibes going on in that direction. There's also a Mercury going retrograde into Scorpio on the 1st, and so on the 6th Mercury will move direct in the 5th house. So if there is someone who you're kind of interested in, I would, if it's something new, wait till after the 6th. If it's someone who is old from before, then do it before the 6th. Mercury retrograde, especially between the 1st and the 6th, will be really good to rehash old relationships that have broken down, because you can talk about the past really efficiently here. So that is some transits in that first week in Scorpio. But maybe this is where you have to kind of face the music on some things, talk about some hard truths, you know, and Venus moving back into Scorpio on the 2nd will really help. So your golden days are the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th to go back to a relationship, and then after the 6th for a new relationship to begin. Okay, so you can apply that to your situation. Let's take a look at your 4 cards from the Templar Tarot. So you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now this is a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, and this is you taking your sweet freaking time, Cancer. This could be you as well. towards a certain goal, towards what you're trying to achieve, going really slowly and then complaining about it. Here is the next message. We have the Justice card. This is the card of Libra, in which there is, in some way, there's like a fairness that needs to happen. And I feel like in this combination, the fairness has to, it's like beyond like tit for tat. You did this for me, I did, you know, you did this for me, or you did this to me, and so I need to get back at you. I think that you need to sit back and not get involved in that process and allow the energy to like work its truth, because the truth is going to renegotiate this circumstance or situation. Next you have the Six of Pentacles, in which there's like reciprocity, real generous giving back and forth, you know, people who have each other's backs and people who are very kind and considerate. So you're not missing that. That's that Magician that was in the beginning spread that I showed you guys. That's in Vimeo I explained it, so I didn't explain it here. Let me explain it now since it came up. That Magician is you doing the hard thing, the karmically right thing, regardless of how difficult it is, or regardless of how inconvenient it is. And so when people do those kinds of things, the point of that kind of action is clear karma, right? And so a person who self-sacrifices or does things for others in a truthful manner, they have a power about them, because they're not negotiating karma, they're just facing the present moment in a clear state. So I feel like that's the energy that you're bringing in, and that's why you had like the Devil and the Seven of Swords and like the, what was it, the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords around you, but you were the Magician, so you were pretty, you know, like well aligned. It's like you can walk through tough situations and still stay centered, because you haven't like done stupid stuff. I'm trying to adjust my language for YouTube. So you haven't done stupid stuff, so your karma's clear. And so this is why you don't want to be vindictive, because when you're vindictive, then you are attaching yourself to karma, and you don't really know for sure if it's which way that cookie crumbles, right? Here is the next message. We have the Page of Wands. This showed up again. It's Gemini, Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sorry. It could be a Gemini if I said it, but I feel like maybe a new passionate relationship with a fire sign, or a new passion towards something. You know, that could be a part of it. So that's your 4 cards for the first week. Now let's take a look at the second week. And in the second week, it's all about Sagittarius. And so with Sagittarius, it's a big transit right now. We have Jupiter in Sag in your 6th house. So day-to-day opportunities come into your field of reach. You can interact with good energy all around. On the 12th, there is Mercury moving into Sag. This is no, it's not a grand trine. Well, it is a grand trine off of the North Node in Chiron. Right at the end of Mercury's transit in Scorpio. So that could be like, again, more healthy conversations that need to happen, and especially things in which, honestly, if there is something that you need to change about yourself, or in terms of your personality, if there's something that you need to correct in a situation or circumstance, regardless if you're Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer, if you kind of like own your stuff, again, I'm watching my language, if you own your stuff and you can say it and identify where it comes from. Here's Chiron station actually on the 9th of December. If you own your stuff and you can speak wholeheartedly, like, yeah, I was this way because, you know, then there's like a great opportunity to heal and move forward. So don't be afraid. This is a good transit for that kind of stuff. And then on the 12th, Mercury will move into Sagittarius. On the 7th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius in your 6th house. That's also very fortunate, you know. Daily activities, jobs, all those kinds of things, everything, a new set of responsibilities. I just saw here the Ace of Cups, new relationships, hey girl, hey. There's also sorts of positive energy coming in with this moon. This is like the house of repetitive action, so like chores and things you have to do and stuff. So this has to do with work and everything else. You can begin new patterns, you know, you can kind of own your stuff and move forward with this new moon. So let's take a look at your 4 cards. So we see the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, just steady movement forward. It's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be without setbacks, but it's progress. And then you have the Star card, which showed up again. Sorry, it's a little hard to see, but we have the Star card, which is the card of Aquarius, or the soulmate. I think that there's a soulmate around, and let me clarify what I mean by soulmate. It's like someone who's very important to you in your life. Like, it could be a family member. It's the holidays. Soulmates usually show up in families, but it could be a friend, it could be a relationship. This person is very important for you, and it showed up in the Vimeo reading as well at the beginning of this spread. So yeah, there's some kind of, you see, and if it's not a person, then you see a way forward with things with this new moon, which is great. You like see a clearing, see a path in a situation you may have not known how to address. And I'm picking up on the fact it's to do with family or a relationship, because we have the Lovers on the bottom here. We have Justice, again, the card of Libra, allowing things to level out. And then we have the Ace of Cups, see, leading to a new relationship. So if I can tell you one thing right now, it's don't meddle with karma this month. This is the 2nd time that message came through. If you start meddling, you're going to make a mess. If you just allow things to fall in, it's like when people, I'm not a real baker, but like when people bake a cake or something, they have to like let it sit there. I don't get that magic, but like they let it sit there so that everything kind of like falls into place. This is the kind of energy that you have to work through with that new moon. The new moon is again on the 7th of December, and it happens in Sagittarius, so in your 6th house. So whatever kind of new beginnings, like just start a new pattern in your life, you know, start a new, what is that, I'm missing the word, start a new, like a pattern, something that you're going to do every day or every other day or twice a week, whatever. Just a new habit. That's a habit takes, what is it? A lifestyle takes 90 days to implement, and a habit takes 30. Or it's something like that. It's like a, you can correct me in the comments if you guys don't mind. Okay, so the next big transit is the Sun into Capricorn in your 7th house. Hey girl, hey. That's when I think a lot of your relationships, things will move forward and drastically. So I think that this is like the reset up until the 22nd. That's why relationships get really muggy. That's why you get discouraged. That's why it feels a certain type of way. And the Sun moving into Capricorn on the 22nd, and then we have a full moon in Cancer. There you go, on the 22nd, sorry, and the Sun moves into Capricorn on the 21st. So it's going to be like a 0-degree full moon, and I feel like a lot of you're learning a lot of lessons about what you need to build on, what you need to do more of in terms of your personality, and what you need to kind of cut out. And I think that there'll be a lot of information coming to you, especially via partnerships, be it business partnerships or romance. There's a lot of harsh lessons. And let me tell you this, because I don't, it's a hard one to talk about. Not all these partnerships are deserving. It's not like you did something wrong by someone and now you have to learn your lesson. Some of these things are going to come via circumstances that you observe or that you are kind of learning about in a really, really clear way, that aren't necessarily attached to someone doing something to you or you doing something to someone. But it could be a whole variety of circumstances that have to do, the theme is partnership, and you're learning like very extreme lessons through that, and some of that will be unfair to you as well. Don't get stuck on the idea of, this is the karmic part, I guess, too. Don't get stuck on the idea of what's fair and what's not. I feel like you should learn the bigger lesson, and the bigger lesson has to do with your personality and how you allow certain things to happen, and what you need to reinforce and what you need to let go of. Okay, So that's that beautiful full moon in Cancer at 0 degrees. So if you're rising Cancer, that might be in your 12th house for the most of you. But if you use the whole house system, people always ask me about this. You can use this chart for sun, moon, and rising. It's called a whole house system. So when someone doesn't have their time of birth, for example, what I actually set the chart to is their sun. And so then you read it as a whole house rather than a typical chart that is used with a rising sign when you know somebody's time of birth. So it's completely okay to watch this for your moon and your sun and your rising sign. It's just, it looks different than you may have seen on online or something. Okay, so there's just 3 lenses that you can look at, right? Your rising sign is how you appear to the world. The sun is who you are. They interplay quite a lot. I don't want to break it down too deeply here. And then the moon is your seat of your emotions and your soul, which tends to be a very internal reading. Okay, so here is your last transit. Did I pick? Yes, I did pick for the full moon. Your last transit is Mars in Aries, and for you that's a big one. Actually, for the rest of us it's not that big of a deal, but Mars moving into Aries, that's your 10th house, right at your MC, and that's on the new year. So happy new year, you guys. And this will in some way give you a real big push forward. And what I told you guys on Vimeo is that you're getting ready for January, in which there is a full moon eclipse at 0 degrees of Leo right here, and on the 20th of January. So a lot of things could be topsy-turvy at this time, and I think that Mars moving into the 10th house is giving you extra vitality. So I think in December overall, your energy is going to mount, and it's going to get better and better and better. So you'll start off in a low, you'll feel discouraged, you'll kind of be really disappointed by people. And I feel like as things progress, as you meet all these people I described at the beginning of the video, then things will get better and your mood will lighten. And talk as much as you need to. Really open up with your feelings. These are wonderful transits for healing. So don't be shy. Don't pull yourself out of the energy, okay? So here we go. We have the Queen of Wands. This is Mars in Aries. So this is you being kind of shiny for your career, whether you're a man or a woman. And then we have the Three of Swords. There's that Three of Swords again. So you just wish things would be different. You wish things would be different than they are. And some things, that's like the hardest hurt, you know, when you see things as good and it's not gonna work out the way that you had hoped. Here is the Two of Rods, and it's a lesson also, you know. It's kind of like one of those hard life lessons in which you hope that how do you say, it's easy to be not upset when somebody's a jerk or something's really horrible, but when something is nice, then it's kind of like that's a real disappointment there. So kill him with kindness is like one of those things people say, which I think is very, very underhanded or manipulative, but I think I don't really understand what it means. I struggle with that one. I mean, it depends on how you implement it. If you're just a nice person, fine, but if you're actually trying to manipulate people to thinking you're a nice person and making them sad about it, then that's some really messed up stuff. But anyway, so Mars in the 10th house, I feel like I said on Vimeo, without the sour, the sweet wouldn't be so sweet. And sometimes you have to kind of feel the negative emotions to learn the appreciation of the positive things that are around you. And there's no indication that there's like a complete, there's no tower moment here, you know? So it's all these like nuanced feelings and interpretations. And here is your card. That's Mercury in Sagittarius. So Mercury is in Sag at the end of the month. And this is like, you know, this is exactly like feeling the hurt and then saying nice things, because like you smarten up and you figure out exactly which way to go with things. And this could be you also being a little bit more, how do you say, the more healing you allow yourself to do this month, I think, throughout the whole month, the more brave you will be at the outset of it, and the more you'll be like light and bubbly and happy Cancer at the end of the month. So that's when the Eight of Rods will come in, and you'll be like more carefree and happy. But if you refuse to do the healing, then you're going to be bogged down with all your emotions, and when the opportunities come in for you to enjoy yourself, then you're not going to be prepared, right? So what is it? Success is excuse me, I've been butchering the sayings. Success is partly preparation and being in the right place at the right time, right? So you have to have both. You have to prepare yourself. That's your responsibility, and sometimes it's to do with timing. Okay, so now we're going to do a full reading using the Klimt Tarot. And if you haven't liked the video yet, then please like it right now and leave me a comment. I'm super excited because the emojis weren't taken away. I thought they were going to be. I was so sad. I was mourning it for a month, and I'm like, why emojis? Emojis are like the best thing ever. They give me life sometimes. You can be so cheeky with them, you know? Anyway, so here's your cards for the month. So we have, the Hierophant, the card of Taurus. Let's see what's going on in Taurus. We haven't mentioned Taurus at all. Well, Uranus is out of Taurus. Sorry about the siren. It gives me a time to think. Taurus is your 11th house of friendship. So I feel like there's a community that you're being drawn towards. Maybe this is what we're talking about, a shift in community. Shift from one community to another. When one fails, then there's that feeling of like disappointment, but there's something better that's coming around for you. The next message is we have the Queen of Cups. Now this is you, honey. This is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And so this is a lot of you. There's a lot of water transits right now. You're like super in the water energy in December. We all are. And so I feel like this is you trying to figure out the dynamics of a situation that you're involved in. Or possibly you're trying to figure out your marriage or your partnership on a deep emotional level. And that a part of it is if you look outward, you will only get so far. But if you look outward and inward, you'll go much further. Here is your next message. We have the King of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Now this is you and your husband. This is you and your wife. Nice connection right there. I feel like, yeah, there's this is the card of marriage, and so maybe you're working on your relationship, you're working on your partnership, or maybe you're just really working things out about past relationships that you've had on that deeply emotional level. A lot of questions about trust seem to be coming up, so a lot of issues of trust and negotiating trust with the people that you're connected with. One thing about water signs that we do have to acknowledge is that you do get kind of sensitive and vulnerable sometimes, and it's just like, oh, come on, like just toughen up a little. But I think that with, what is it, like it's a mandala, right? So when you're strong in something, that an extreme in one direction gives you it just kind of encompasses the shortcomings as well. So maybe overly sensitive if I were to give you any kind of constructive feedback, but maybe not. Here is the next message. We have the World card on the bottom. Hey girl, hey. So a real consideration to go somewhere else, to go somewhere far away. Maybe you're feeling like you need to change. Maybe you spend time with family and in some way you're reconsidering where you are. A lot of people, like around the holidays, you know, they go to visit their family for holidays and then they're like, oh geez, I gotta move back. You know, so maybe that's what's going on. Or maybe you're just considering things. I think family is one of those issues that it's going to be a hot button for you this year, and I feel like it will be triggering and it may make you want to make very large changes. I would just suggest that you wait until after January 20th to actually put those changes into action. So you may have those feelings like you really want to change things up because it's the holidays. It happens for many people, but I think for you it's feeling very, very vibrant. And I think that you're feeling extremely sensitive because now we're seeing this grand trine. Look at this triangle. It's right through the whole month, right? And so this grand trine, that's that healing triangle that I was talking about earlier, that you really need to address certain things, and the more that you dive into it, the better the results will be. But I feel like but the better the results will be, but that will also feel you'll have to face a lot of fear and worry in doing so, right? So it's like a big a leap of faith to take. The next card is the Four of Wands. Happy family, happy home. This to me looks wonderful. It looks like a wonderful love connection, right? Like a real stable love environment, good vibes all around. At the center we have the Three of Swords again. Jesus. Sorry. Sorry guys. Three of Swords, broken hearts, you know, broken hearts club. Maybe there's a deep love there, but maybe there's a big infraction that's happened, and you already know about it. So it's not like you'll find out about it in December. It's like somebody got really hurt by something, or there's a real poignant sadness that is kind of ringing true in the heart. Something wasn't what it was meant to be. And then we have the Devil card. Again, the Devil was your first card in the Vimeo. That's partnerships, right? And this is also being really in this position. This is the seat of Venus, and this is your position through December. So you got the Devil twice, and this is to do with partnerships, Mr. Devil. And I feel like the Devil represents, I think what it means is that you're really brought down by situations, and there's a real darkness to your thoughts, or a limited ability to see, and you're working through very, very dark themes and dark energies to resolve your issues. But it's good, you're facing it. That's the grand trine, right? Like that's the grand trine in the water signs. Like you have to in some way face the darkest demons, you know, whatever. But I think that there's also this kind of, with the Devil, there's also this energy of turning away. So make sure that you're not turning away or trying to avoid. I mean, you do you, like you definitely need to do what's right for you, but I feel like defending yourself against facing a problem is not going to be positive for you in the long term. It's always better to kind of try to get as much out of a transit or a situation as you can. Queen of Wands again, Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, a deep connection. This really is starting to look like a third-party situation, hey? There's new connections, happiness in new directions. There's sadness in old directions. I don't know where you find yourself. You're probably one of these two people, either the King of Cups or the Queen of Cups. Here is the next message. We have the Six of Rods. Remember, that was your bottom card? So you're striving towards success in all situations. And if you are the person who is having any kind of extramarital affair, if there's any infidelity, if the Devil represents your infidelity, then I told you guys several times before realizing this now, bad karma with that, really bad karma. So the best situation, manage it to the best of your ability, you know. I would say try to clean it up as much as you can before moving forward. That means, you know, telling the truth or breaking down the situation and moving forward and making a decision to clean it up. So I think that maybe December is like cleaning up the circumstance. Here is the outcome. You have the Four of Swords. You'll find rest at the end. So clarifying a situation, clarifying an issue. On the bottom you have the Four of Pentacles, a refusal. I see this, I said this again and again, like refusal. You know what you need to do, and I've been encouraging it in your reading, but I feel like there is this, like, I know what I need to do, but I'm not gonna do it because it hurts or it's upsetting or I just don't wanna. And so I feel really strongly, if you find yourself as the King of Cups, I can't tell you with your karma, I feel like this is the person, the Queen of Wands, with whom you're experiencing the greatest amount of happiness, a Sag, Leo, or Aries. However, I feel like I can't mess with your karma. This could be also you know, ignoring the situation of what's being done to you. If you're the Queen of Cups, you know, she looks pretty like, I'm not going to look at this truth. I'm going to ignore it. It's the holidays. We'll talk about it in January, right? And just perpetuates the heartbreak. Or this could be a Taurus involved also. Could be both people involved in some directions. But I feel like it's really important there's no solution here, easy. The best energy is between the King of Cups and the Queen of Wands. But you know, it's easy when it's like a carefree affair, you know, on the side. Hey girl, hey, you know, no responsibilities. While she's slugging away, you know, taking care of children and things. So if I have my opinions, but which I'm trying to be mindful of and not really, but in some way you want to think critically about why certain relationships are so easy, right? That's often something people say, oh, it was easier in this direction. That's right, because there's no joint responsibility. You're being childish, right? But maybe sometimes that's the solution that you need, because maybe this circumstance was brought together for the wrong reasons. And I'll just say my opinion that if this is the situation and there's infidelity against it, then I feel like this needs to end. That conversation needs to end, and the person needs to take a chance to move forward in a new direction with the person that they do feel inspired by or comfortable with. And I feel like it's important to, in some way, if you're wherever you are in this situation, is to clarify your position and to be healthy, you know, and mindful and peaceful, and let things rest, right? Allow things to rest. But I think that you're putting the brakes on things, like refusal to unpack things further. And maybe it's because the Three of Swords keeps on showing up. It's like you don't want that to ruin. You don't want this to be your last month in December. So just like, no thanks. Gotta go. See you later. Anyway, I gotta go, so I'll talk to you guys soon. I wish you guys all the best. Check out your other readings. Maybe we'll find out more information there. Take care. Bye. Hi Cancer, thank you for joining me and welcome to your horoscope spread for 2019. I'm excited to be here with you guys. If you want your other readings, there will be linked in the Cancer playlist down below. Also, I have the horoscope spread out. This is the horoscope spread, so if you want the extended part for each of the houses that I describe, then that will be on Vimeo, also linked down below. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and do this reading for you guys. I already did your tarot yearly, and that turned out really well. It's a really beautiful year for you. I'll do astrology separately, but I have to wait for my computer to come back. So if you guys are ready, this is the Thoth deck, and I will lay down the cards. Each of these houses represents either an aspect of your life, or they represent an aspect of your life, or they represent a month of the year. So we start January, February, March, April, May, June, and so on. Okay, so I hope you guys had a good year. From the tarot reading, it seems as though it's a very metaphysical reading. The tarot reading is very kind of like themes and energies like that, and I feel like you should just be open to whatever it's saying. I think it's really prolific, and it's a very special year for Cancer. The North Node is in your first house, so there's an emphasis on your character and those kinds of things. And then of course a lot's going on in your seventh house in Capricorn this year. So okay, so this is a little lopsided. I wasn't looking at the monitor, but I have to really keep this really close, because that's the only way to set up this reading this year. Okay, so I think that's as tight as we're gonna get. Hold on, I can probably make it a little bit smaller so you guys can see everything. And so let's begin. So your core card is ooh, this is my favorite card. This is the new Aeon, or this is the new beginning. For you this year, a new beginning, transformation. In other decks, it's called the Last Judgment card. It's ruled by Pluto. So this is a shift of consciousness that's coming up on for you this year. I'm going to clarify this in just a minute in this video. At the end of the video, I'll show you how the Vimeo videos look by clarifying this one here, okay? So in your first house, this is also January, we've got the Lovers. Okay, so the year starts off with a banger. We have a full moon lunar eclipse at 0 degrees Leo, which is just on the cusp of your sign on the 20th of January. So I feel as though there is really deep connections with people. And in terms of your other reading, this really compares well or very closely to what I found in the other reading, because the emphasis is on your interpersonal relationships and partnerships. And this is what the Lover's card represents. So you're coming to be very close with people. I think in terms of your personality, you will be very focused on your relationships with others. The second house is money, of course, and as well as property, and it coincides with February, and we have the Hierophant. So I feel as though this year you are very much focused on, so this year you are very much focused on community, and you can make money by connecting to community dynamics and being a part of a larger community. In January, you have Gemini as a focus, and here we have Taurus as a big focus for this month. For the third house in communication, you have Libra, or the adjustment card. And so I feel as though in March, there will be opportunities for you to change a certain direction in your life, bring balance and order through communication. March is going to be a dynamic month because Mercury will go retrograde in a water sign, Pisces, and so you will experience this kind of in a significant way because this will be in your ninth house of communication. So I think that you need to do a lot of communicating up until this point. For the whole year in general, you're bringing balance and order. So how you communicate to others really reverberates back to you. And so the more calm, the more harmonious your communication is, the better the outcome for you in the end. In the fourth house of home and family, we have the Empress, and the fourth house in your chart is ruled by Libra. This coincides with the month of April, and for everybody, April is going to be one of the 2 months in which we experience the most kind of activity. I guess there's 3 months, but I think that January's volatility is actually really positive and easy energy, whereas I think that by the time we get to April, the energy will be really intense. And for you, because Capricorn's your seventh house of partnership, wait for the astrology reading to really get a handle on this. Because Capricorn is your seventh house, I feel like both Pluto and Saturn, which are in Capricorn, will go retrograde in April, and this will cause a lot of changes or difficult moments in your home that you have to deal with. But you have the Empress card. Now the Empress represents the mother, right? It represents the mother archetype. And so I feel as though this is like a protective card, loving energy. And I feel as though maybe this is energy within you that's coming out, that caring and nurturing. Or possibly this may be the energy that you are connecting with. So home family will really orient towards mother energy, being a mother, and also mother energy that you receive from others, caring and nurturing. In the fifth house, which is romance, children, also May, we have the Tower, and this is with regard to the sign of Scorpio. So the Scorpio rules your fifth house, and so I feel as though in terms of the things that you enjoyed doing before, I know it's a very scary looking card, and we'll explain that more in the Vimeo reading, but I feel like I think that you're going to such a high vibration that the things you enjoyed doing before don't necessarily suit you. It's like growing past Saturday morning cartoons, or outgrowing certain things. I don't think this is a bad situation. I just think that you are progressing away from bad situations and bad circumstances that are not good for you, that haven't been good for you, and that you've been accepting because you have just been growing in a certain way, and now you've outgrown them. So I think that now the focus is much more to do with love. Maybe if you've had a lot of superficial relationships, superficial connections, you in this year will kind of let go of them and not feel a way about it. I think that in a way you'll feel very kind of maybe even hopeful about new directions, and other things will stir your interest. So don't be afraid of this card. I think this is a shift and a change. In terms of May, there's not many transits beyond the moons. So I don't think that you have much to worry about with regard to that. So I just think this is just letting go of all old things, and people around you may think like this is stark and this is crazy, but I don't think you will. The next message is for your 6th house, and you have Jupiter in June. So even if in May something happens, by June there's going to be a reconciliation and an improvement of things. And so in June we have Neptune going retrograde. Some people say Neptune retrograde is a good thing because it actually brings more clarity to circumstances. For other people it's more of a situation of even more cloudy experiences. The 6th house has to do with your health, your fitness, your day-to-day activities. I told you guys this already in the tarot video, but I feel like I should restate this again. I feel like this year will be full of a lot of change and a lot of action. You will be very busy the entire year, and you will see a lot of things. You'll have a very busy social calendar. Now here's the 7th house, and this is the in your chart, this is ruled by Capricorn. So you have the sun. This is perfect. I'm so relieved to see this card here. I feel as though joy and happiness will come to you in your private relationships. The key month for this is July, and this is when we have not only a solar eclipse in Capricorn on the 16th of July, but we also see a lunar eclipse in Capricorn on the 16th of July, but we also see a solar eclipse in Cancer on the 2nd of July. So, and as well as Mercury retrograde in your sign. So communication is gonna, sometimes Mercury retrograde is a good thing because it pushes us out of our way, and so we say things that we may not have said before. People are scrambling to communicate, and so maybe in some way this is a positive thing. In terms of partnerships, this assures that there will be good outcomes in situations. I know we're going to do a separate focus on astrology, but just for this sign, let's just say I'll tell you all the transits that are happening in the month that they're happening in. So for Capricorn transits, this is a lot, and it's the house that's going to have the most amount of activity, and I think this is where you are really connecting and where you're shining through, because this is where you're going to show everyone. The North Node is here in Lovers in Cancer for this year, and so what that means is that you're going to be showing everyone else how to care, how to nurture the 4th house. This is your house in a regular chart, how to be a mother, how to be caring, and you're going to be setting the precedent there we go, of good faith and good energy. Okay, so we have Capricorn. Okay, solar eclipse in Capricorn on the 5th of January, right off the bat, a new moon eclipse at 15 degrees Capricorn in your 7th house of partnership. This is where relationships may really take off. Okay, next, in terms of Capricorn energy, we have that April transit of Pluto and Saturn going retrograde within 5 days of each other. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's going to be a tumultuous time in terms of your partnerships. Next, in July, we have a full moon lunar eclipse on the 16th of July. What that's going to lead to is probably some kind of change in the nature of your relationship, in the nature of your circumstances. Either you're going to cut something out, or you're going to really kind of solidify and crystallize something about your relationship. Then in September, Saturn will move direct on the 18th of September. That's going to be a huge relief. Things will start to come back into normal. Remember, Saturn in your 7th house, it really has a lot to do with relationships sometimes coming apart or being tried and tested for how good they are. If it's not really good for you, then it's probably going to go. And probably around the time when Saturn goes direct too as well. And then there's more. Okay, so the next one is in December. Jupiter will move into this sign on the 2nd of December. This is where I think this really kicks in. And finally, the solar eclipse on the 26th of December in Capricorn will also happen in your 7th house. So you can kind of see how the sun is just all over the place, and how you go through a transition of all these changes in your dynamics. What I would say with regard to that is like, don't hide from it, let it happen. And the more that you allow the energy to work through you, the better the outcome will be for you. You just have to trust nature. Here is the next message for the 8th house. And so your 8th house is ruled by Aquarius, not much going on there. And this is the card of Aquarius. This is the star. So a change, a transformation. The house, the 8th house has to do with endings, death, taxes, other people's money. Fated relationships can come through at this time. Serendipity moments. Serendipity means that things are happening in a synchronistic way. This is also the house of the occult, so you could be engaged in some type of new spiritual direction that overwhelms you, that you find a lot of interest in. So I wouldn't be too afraid of this house this year. This is usually the house that people are afraid of. This is also the house of interaction, adult interaction. So if you know what I'm saying, right? So this is the house that you're gonna have. This is promising a good outcome, protection, good energy. Okay. And then in the 9th house we have the Lust card, which is the Leo card. In your chart, it's ruled by Pisces. This is where Neptune is. So passion. I think that your mind is going to be very passionate. I think you'll be very inspired this year. And I think that you'll be inspired by love. So you'll be willingly trying to share that with other people. We have Neptune in Pisces, but beyond that, there's not many other shifts that are going on in the sign, except in March. Remember, we have the Mercury retrograde period, and so here we're talking about September, right? So this is going to be a passionate month for you. I think that probably by the time we hit July, there will be, actually even in June. In June, there will be some kind of, it looks like a relationship is forming here, you know, through those months. Okay, so let's take a look at your 10th house. In your 10th house, we have the Devil. So I feel as though this is your career, your public life. Be careful for people really begrudging the good energy that you are bringing in. Don't even feed it any kind of hostility or kind of negative energy. This is something that you could have experienced in the past that's coming back. The same kind of treatment, maybe by different people. This house is ruled in your chart by Aries, and so I feel like maybe there is this house is ruled by Aries, where Chiron is this year. So maybe there will be some degree of, you know, past experiences where you feel weakness with other people, where you feel as though you've had a patterned experience where it was difficult with people. That may in some way come up again, but I think that you'll face it well, provided that you don't feed into this energy too much, provided that you don't give it that much heat. I don't think that maybe this is the place where you will, I think this is a place where you should shy away from. In one sense, you're connecting to communities, people around you, and I think that you're really creating a strong connection there, a strong network. But I feel in the greater scheme of things in public life or people who you don't know, there may be these energies that are kind of causing friction for you, because I think you're just too pure this year. You're very positive, you're very kind, you're loving, and that attracts sometimes some of the seedier behaviors, right? Here is your next card. In the 11th house, you have the High Priestess. In your chart, this is the sign of Taurus. And so we have Uranus there for the majority of the year. Uranus will move into Taurus probably in the spring, well, definitely in the springtime. And then it'll go into another retrograde period in the summer. But Uranus is always retrograde about half of the year. It's about 5-month retrograde period. So it's really common that it retrogrades. In the 11th house, I really like Uranus in the 11th house. It signals that unique personalities, unique people come through your life. You are more open to being friends with different types of character. And I think that you'll see a positive outcome out of this. And so especially for November, which this card represents, connections with very spiritual people, people you would consider as oracles, truth sayers, soothsayers, all of that energy is around you now. Okay, and then the last card is the 12th house, the house of spirituality, and you have the Emperor. So when all is said and done, things will in some way really come together for you, and you will find some kind of place to really ground yourself in terms of your belief systems, and that is a huge theme for you this year, really grounding yourself, preparing yourself for the North Node in Gemini next year in 2020, and this energy will be paramount. So the actual payoff for all the good deeds that you do, all the good energy that you extend into others, is a spiritual liftoff in 2020. So it's like you really have to be genuine, sincere, nice, remove any hostility and kind of negative feelings. It's just not your game this year. This year, this is you setting a precedent and teaching others about humanity, teaching other people about how to behave and how to be the best type of person. Okay, so I'm going to clean up these cards, and then I'll show you guys how I'm going to do this reading on Vimeo for each of these houses. So on Vimeo, I'll take each of these houses and then I'll break them down and give you clarity and a deeper understanding. You can watch them for that aspect of your life, be it your home, your love life, your sexuality, or you can watch it for the month. And actually the month thing was suggested to me by a subscriber, and I looked back for my sign, and I was really impressed. So that's why I'm including that mention this year. So thank you for that suggestion. Okay, so we have the new Aeon. Okay, the new Aeon is a new beginning, and this is the general theme for the year. So you have a new beginning, breaking the mold on things, changing a direction for the better, improving your life, transforming. That's the main part. So I'll tell you about this card. It's my favorite card in the tarot. And so Nui and Osiris, Newt and Osiris had a child named Horus, and I think this is Isis and Newt have an interrelated relationship. And so this was a big thing because this is Horus, the new universe that is born to create hope for the world. It's the transformation point, and it's this kind of freedom deep from the Akashic records, deep from the core of our being. Is transformation. It's perseverance of life against death. And so I feel like this is the energy that your year entails. This is hope, this is regeneration, and this is like overcoming darkness. So it's a beautiful message. On the bottom I see the Death card, which I know seems really scary, but I think actually it means something really good. I feel like what it means is that there's a change and transformation and a release and a continuation in a good direction. Okay, so let's see your cards for this year. We have the Queen of Wands. She's a Sag, Leo, or Aries, and she's Sun, Moon, or Rising that way. I feel as though there's someone who facilitates your growth and someone who's very much on your side to help you. The next message is the Six of Cups, and so this card represents the fact that you are dealing with soulmates a lot of soulmates, with so much emphasis in your 7th house of partnership in Capricorn. There is going to be a lot of soulmate activity. There is going to be a lot of opportunities for love, companionship, and friendship. That's your number 1 ticket there. Here is the next message. We have the Page of Pentacles, a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. There's like a really intuitive connection between you and another person. This could be a new physical beginning. There could be new beginnings in terms of business. This could be a romance that is developing, and maybe there's like a natural understanding between yourself and other people. There's peace that is being created by the interaction of one or more people. Here is the next message. We have the Knight of Rods. He's a Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel as though somebody is tentatively, constantly departing or leaving. It's an unsettled energy. And I feel like this is connected with the Queen of Wands. And in some way, this is the legacy that she's come from, having to deal with this kind of instability. So I feel like this Page of Pentacles is providing that for her in some way. And this begins a new beginning and the understanding point that allows her to move forward in a new direction. You can find yourself in any of these characters, or you can think of the people that you are dealing with as a part of that. let's see your last card. I just want, and we have the Two of Cups. And so this is like a deep understanding, compassion, and deep understanding, compassion, friendship. All of those positive energies are in this relationship. I think that everybody's paying attention to the good vibes and the good energy that are with this situation. Now I'm going to pick 4 Norman cards. We have the stars on the bottom. I don't show it always, but when I notice it, I'll mention it. So the stars is a good omen of good luck and an opportunity. We have the fox, wisdom, and cunning. We have the tree, which never shows up. Sorry about that, but I love this deck, so I will continue to use it. And we have the choices, which is the paths card for somebody else. And we have the mice. So I feel like you are being quite industrious and selective with the energy that you're interacting with. Maybe from a legacy of seeing people come and go. You know that you have to do what's right for you and in turn the people around you. I think that the wisdom that you have from past situations allows you to identify what's most important in your life. And then as you make those choices, you know exactly how to be most efficient with your choice making and how to be most efficient with your energy. Here is your positive affirmation card. And we have, I bless my family with love. This is a huge theme for you in 2019, which is family. I love and accept each member of my wonderful family. They in turn love and adore me. All is well in my world. So very beautiful message. And the last card that I'll pick for every single house and here today is the card of Trust Your Vibes. So let's find out what that is. So here's your card, Seek Solitude. So there is some advice for kind of decompressing and finding opportunities to decompress and do your own thing. I think that you need to make choices that are wise. I think there's good connections for you and other people, but you have a right to kind of separate and do your own thing for a time. I think that you need to really be wise who is wasting your energy, and because you're so high vibration this year, that you really need to be mindful of people who may even step to you as though they're at the same kind of level as you, but they're really not. But overall, I feel as though your new beginnings of love, new beginnings of compassion, new beginnings of roots, and you don't have to necessarily kind of end up in this kind of space where people are taking away from things. People will always take situations, and people will always take away from you certain energies or certain things that you have. But like, I feel like that is unavoidable, and the only thing that you can control is your response. So really quiet your mind, allow the new path forward to open up, and figure out what is the best direction, what is the best solution, and take that. Okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed the horoscope spread. If you want to check out the clarity for all the houses, you can go into the About section down below. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye. And Happy New Year. Bye. Hi, Cancer. Thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for Love 2018. I'm using the Angle Tarot, which is the Angel Tarot. I love it very much, and I hope that you do too. I'm excited to read for you and your soulmate. Now, if you're not reconnected with your soulmate, or if you don't have a partner, this reading is also for you because you're meant to have a partner and you're meant to have a soulmate. If you want one, it's out there for you. There is a special person, and we're going to clarify that with the heart-shaped spread. If you want any other readings for 2018, of course, they're linked down below. I really went hog wild this year. I felt like I've been planning this for a really long time, and I plan to do it with a little bit more room to give, but unfortunately, things happen as they happen. You guys have made me very fortunate with the channel and everything, so I want to say thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of readings. I think I did like 7 for 2018, so I hope you guys enjoy them. They're in the playlist down below. Also, if you want to support me in the channel, I have a Vimeo playlist with the horoscope spread clarified through the houses for each of you. So each area of your life will be clarified by sign. Okay, So enough of this chit chat. Let's take a look at your love life, okay? So I've done some shuffling with the cards, and let's take a look at your first card. So this is where you start off the year. This is pretty traumatic. This is the Death card. But that's okay. You can totally handle that. It's totally okay. I feel like the Death card actually here represents change and transformation. This is where you and your partner start. So this is where you and your partner start, and this is where you will be beginning from. Now, right at the beginning of the year, on January 31st, you do have a lot of planets in your 8th house of change, which is kind of to do with death as well, change and transformation. And so there is this regenerative principle that's starting off right at the beginning of the year. Now, in the 8th house, and with this regeneration, you yourself are turning over a new leaf, and so is your partner, and you will be going in a new direction together or exploring apart. Now, if you have never met your partner, just understand that your partner is most likely experiencing a certain aspect of this energy at the same time. This is an archetypal reading that affects both parties, whether you're soulmates, twin flames, true love, or your next permanent life partner. They are probably in already sync to you in a certain way, so much so that this is what they are experiencing. So don't look for in your life for death or something like that. It could be, it is, it's not, it could be, it's a form of change and transformation. So look more for those kinds of energies. The next two cards that I'm putting out for you guys are kind of highest ideals. It gives us an idea of what you're looking for in a relationship this year, and then secondly, what your partner is. If you don't know your partner, again, you're getting an inside look at what that would be. Let's take a look at your first card. So you have the Emperor. So you're either looking to be a husband or really wanting a husband this year. You feel as though that's a very important thing to strive for, something really important to try to achieve. The Emperor is also business ideals. And in your January reading, we already saw an emphasis on kind of work and work type things. The next message is we have the Art and Temperance card. Okay, so I feel as though this card actually represents marriage as well, but it also represents combining different things, such as combining work and family life, or combining art and work, or some kind of combination that works well for you. So this is what you're looking for in terms of the ideal relationship this year. Both of these cards are fire cards. This is Aries and this is Sagittarius. Now that doesn't mean that those are your ideal. However, I think that the fundamental change, Cancer, that you've undergone leads you into wanting to kind of take command of your life, be a spiritual force in your life, and influence other people in a spiritual manner as well. The next card is the representation for your partner. And so they have the Lovers, okay? So they're looking for a family relationship. This has come through in this position so much. I think a lot of people really want that love relationship. They really want a trust-based relationship. They're done with the casual thing. I think a lot of people are afraid of the casual thing. They're afraid of what it does, how much energy it takes. And I think that your partner's maybe turning over, changing their tune and wanting something more like a family-based setting. Here is the next message. Oh, they've got the Star. So it looks as though your partner is very open to commitment. They really want a fidelity, trust, an ongoing relationship. Ironically, as these two cards are fire cards, these two cards are air cards. This is Gemini and this is Aquarius. So I feel as though fire and air, that's interesting. So spirit with cognitive stuff, sure, why not? But that's not the main point of what we're looking at here. I think what your partner is looking for, they're looking actively for their soulmate. So if you have never met them before, they're going to really try hard to make that connection with you now. And then secondly, there is going to be a lover's relationship. They're looking for love, true love, and grounded love. They don't want to have a a kind of disparaging relationship or something casual, something that's going to waste time. So I think that both of you, I think in terms of harmony, of all the readings I've done, you have the most harmonious pairs, because I think both people, even though they're different modalities, fire and air, both people want stability and kind of coming together with someone. The next two cards represent what your next step is. So this is where we started, which is a change. Whatever happened in 2017 is now over, and now you're really in 2018. Everything, it's like out the door, lock the door, done. And now you're in your PJs or whatnot. You're really moving on from one way of doing things to another. Here is your next message. We have the World. Okay. So you may do a certain degree of travel. You do have Neptune in the 9th house, which is the house of travel, and the Neptune governs the world. So not the World card, but it's kind of like a planet associated with worldliness. So I feel as though there's a great chance for you to want to travel, broaden your horizons in a certain way, really expand your reach with regard to things. The next advice for your partner is the devil, sorry. So this has come up for a few people, and the devil for me represents a time when your partner is in a certain way really maybe working through certain vices. Sometimes when I looked at this, I was like, whoa, mama, because this is the Star again, and this is the Lovers. So in combination, it's like your partner could get quite obsessed with finding the ideal partnership. It's like drop everything. They want to fall in love, and they're going for it. And the devil reminds us that whatever we feel so desperately passionate for sometimes rules us. And so this can represent a time when your partner has to work through energy that is associated with compulsion, right? So they may want this, and this may be a good thing, but if you throw too much energy at something, obviously it can fall apart. You, on the other hand, these two cards are kind of opposite, because this card is ultimate openness, openness to the world and everything around you, and this is really closed off, right? So the devil, I don't know if you guys know the story of the devil, but the devil basically rejected God, right? And God said, I will forgive you. You can make the choice and be let back in. And he's like, no, I don't want to be in heaven, and I don't want to be subservient to you. So he defied God, and that's why he became the devil, because he rejected God's mercy on his life. And I'm not trying to be overly Christian about it, but that's really what this represents. So the devil really represents a rejection of something good, right? So in a certain sense, there is this having to address the fact that he or she, sorry, I have a lot of female clients, he or she is in some way putting the stop on a positive flow of energy in their life, and they must address it next, okay? So the next two cards are spiritual advice cards. Please don't take them as anything else other than spiritual advice. So these are channeled information. So here is your first piece of advice, and so we have the High Priestess. So this is a time when you should be contacting oracles. That can be in books. You can do bibliomancy, or that's when you look through a book and pick out a random quote and read it to yourself as inspiration. Or you can find lyrics, randomly stop on the song, listen to the lyrics with the intention that that's supposed to give you some kind of message. Cancer is a very musical sign, so that the lyric idea is probably one that will work really well for you. But the High Priestess is listen to your instincts. Really pay attention to your instincts, pay attention to your intuition. It's guiding you somewhere where you need to be.
And I feel as though you're looking for something very concrete in your life. Maybe you're looking for like stability, home, marriage, those kinds of things. You're looking for a spiritual marriage more so than a practical one. And so I think it's important for you to follow through with the things that are guiding you. Here is the next message we have. Oh, this is your card. Okay. So this is the Chariot. Whatever's happened for you or around you, you'll be set free. Just as a little kind reminder, if you're not watching the astrology reading, but I think you should just for this part, you have Lilith in the area of your chart that deals with partnership. And it's creating a conjunction to Pluto, which we've talked about before. That's the 7th house, right? So throughout this year, probably until September, the conjunction between Pluto and Lilith is going to keep upheaval in your life. No, sorry, not September. I think like maybe July. And so from now on until July, Lilith is transiting over Pluto in the 7th house, which means this is not the best time to engage in very serious partnerships, because those partnerships can really steam out of control, and you want to make sure that you're approaching them at the right time. So I feel like the Chariot is when Lilith passes over into Aquarius. That's when you have that confirmation, and that's when it's your go time. So it is a little bit of waiting. You saw this in the January reading. There is a little bit of waiting here, but I feel like it's waiting with a purpose. So here is some advice for your partner. Now, if you don't know your partner, again, this is giving you insight as to what's going on for them. And maybe a part of you already understands that that's what's going on for them, like you've already sensed it. Because if you're already connected to your partner, that's the idea of the reading. Here is the next message. So you have the Moon. So I feel as though your partner is going to start seeing the truth from behind the veil. The devil can really confuse us. And so it's very hard for people to recognize the things that are limiting them. So this is the part of the recognition. Their ideals are so pure, but I think they're dealing with a significant amount of stress, worry, agitation, challenge. And so the next stage is for them to recognize that and to deal with it. The other piece of advice for them is the Strength card. The Strength card for me is ultimately truth. Truth to yourself as a living animal. So humans are animals, and this is the most primordial truth within yourself, within your DNA. So for example, doing things that make us feel good, to follow through and find success in those directions. The outcome card for this reading is, so we have the Balance card. So I feel like more so than you, I think you're being affected by your soulmate this year, but I don't feel as though you're terribly off balance, nor do I think that you're going to have an adverse time. I think that the World card does signify that there's a significant amount of love that you're going to be working through, a lot of love that you can connect with, loving energy. Your partner, however, seems very far from their goal, and I think it's imperative for them to do a lot of self-work, whether you know them or not. Just hope for them that they can find their way. This is for your betterment as well. And so if you have a partner who's struggling in a certain way, it can be a very big detriment on you. Now that speaks to you in your chart with Pluto and Lilith, right, in the 7th house, because Lilith is kind of this impediment, right? Impediment to well-being, creates a lot of chaos and whatnot. And in the 7th house, we're dealing with partnerships. So you have an external negative force in your partnership house this year. That doesn't mean that it's going to affect you, but it's around your periphery. It's around you. And then we have the Justice card, bringing kind of balance into circumstances, fairness, and order. And I feel as though that you ultimately will get to a balanced place. Maybe your partner has lost something and they've had to go on a spirit journey this year to find a deeper truth. Or maybe you yourself are identifying the things that you need to overcome in order to become more powerful and happy. But my hunch is that it's actually them more so than you, and that you are trying to find balance and your balance is being affected by their disparity. Their ambitions are and high ideals are wonderful, but they seem to have to do a lot of work to get there. Anyway, Cancer, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Make sure to check out my 2018s, share, like, and subscribe. And anything else? Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. We're going to take a look at your reading for Sagittarius Jupiter. So Jupiter is moving into Sag on November 8th, 2018, but we're looking at the next 13 months, 2018 to 2019, and whatever wonderful things Sagittarius brings into your sign. Remember, these readings are for your sun, moon, and rising, and I'm happy to do them for you. But before I find out what sign we're reading for, we're going to pick 3 cards from the Syrian Starseed Tarot just to get familiar with the energy, okay? So here is your first card. We have the Sage of Orbs, Pallas Athena right there. And then we have the Four of Chalices. And then we have the Shadow, the Devil. So this could be Capricorn, right? I feel as though there's been some reason brought into this situation. So somebody has been really thinking about what to do next. And there's going to be an offer that is made to you from a Capricorn, presumably, or someone who is very focused on business. And they're going to make an offer to you, and an offer that I think you'll feel very confident by, or you'll feel very motivated to be a part of. So I feel like this is a blessed thing. Remember, Jupiter in Sag is in rulership, right? So it's a very powerful transit that's going to help everyone do better, and everybody will be very happy for this transit. So that's why the Shadow or the Devil card does not really resonate as like a negative message. It's actually something that will be quite positive, so just bear with me. First, a sign, the sign we are reading for, sorry, I was doing something else, just is we're looking at the Chariot, Cancer. Hey guys, how is it going? Let's take a look at your astrology and we'll see what this brings into your life, okay? Okay, so this is your chart, and I'm gonna just let it go over, and then you can see Jupiter move into Sagittarius with me as I do this reading. So Jupiter's moving from your 5th house into your 6th house, which means productivity, right? So this is why this is resonating so strongly. I feel as though there's a decision to break away from something, also Cancer. A decision to break away, and you don't really know which way you're going to go, but when you go, I think that good things will be offered to you, and especially in the area of productivity, really kind of achievement, setting forward the things that you want to bring into your life. By the way, consequently, as a result of going in this direction, which remember, Jupiter just went into Sag here on the 8th, consequently, you will also see the consequence of this will also be success in partnership. Although I think that you'll have to take a bit of a detour before you settle into that energy fully, okay? Okay, so let's pick some more cards and take a look closer. In a minute, I'm going to do a reading for love with the Art of Love Tarot, and then we will do a special surprise at the end. I really want everybody to comment and like on the video, please, okay? So your next message is the Ten of Flames. Feeling heavily burdened by something, really heavy burden, and this could be to do with partnerships. This may have something to do with trying to break away from established partnerships and going in a new direction. And then we have the Two of Flames, so this is the Eight of Chalices. Okay, so it feels as though I feel really strongly the benefit of Jupiter in your 6th house. I am going to cover it up now just to do the reading. But the benefit of Jupiter in your 6th house will have a lot to do with you breaking away from partnerships that were clamping down on you and not letting you do what you need to do for your own success. And remember, consequently, as a byproduct of all that, your whole life will have been impacted. It almost feels like you've been micromanaged, and that you didn't have your own say about things, and you had to sort of break away, and even at your own detriment, you know, even at certain costs that you had to incur in order to go your own way. Now, it felt like a silly vision almost, that you had to go this direction, that you had to break away, and there was not much to go by. There was not much promise in the direction that you were going, and it felt very heavy. It felt very loaded, like a lot of work that you had to put in. And going down a route, you know, when you're driving down the road and you don't necessarily know where you're going to, it's kind of like, oh, I wonder if this is gonna end up okay, you know. So it's kind of this kind of blind route that you're going down. And so essentially what you will have to do this year, and what Jupiter's giving you the opportunity to do, is work and refine your skill, and work on and refine the things that you are doing in order to achieve the goals that you want. And as you do so, I think you'll gain perspective and vision, specifically on the things that held you back before. Do you see? This is a lack of vision, the Devil card, and this card represents vision, the Two of Wands. So Jupiter around the way is actually going to open your eyes up so that you can see the truth a little bit more, and assure that you never get into a position in which you are controlled again. I'm going to show you guys something with regard to the astrology. Maybe I'll do it now. Sorry, it's kind of, I have to show it. Today's, I got carried away with our design today. Oh, there we go. The fairies like that one. Okay, so we have, so the reason why I think this is so true is you have Saturn, Pluto, and Vesta here in your 7th house, and also the South Node is about to move into this area. I'll do a separate South Node video. You'll find that in your playlist. But this is all power, you know. Pluto is power in partnerships, and so you're really letting go of unhealthy power dynamics with other people who don't let you be yourself, people who don't let you to be free. And the last manifestation of this was something in which you had to pry yourself away quite forcefully to get away from the situation. Maybe an argument ensued, maybe something even more drastic, but you kind of broke away, ran into the night, kind of panting and screaming. It's just kind of a bit of a metaphor, but I think you found yourself under the stars, kind of waywardly, not really sure which way you'll go. And there was quite a bit of fear because it's like Stockholm syndrome, which is almost like traumatic pairing, which is basically when a person is abused, they form an attachment, traumatic attachment to the person who is hurting them. And so that can be a part of narcissistic abuse, any kind of power dynamic abuse, parent-child, all those things. And so I think that maybe some of these feelings were attached to things to do with your past, to do with your childhood, and you broke away from it, and you find yourself here, you know, breaking away from Pluto in your 7th house, figuring out what power dynamics should be in relationships. And then you kind of look around, and there is no easy solution. There is no, Prince Charming around the corner. You have to figure it out for yourself. And as you do so, you step into your knowledge, you step into your expertise, and thereby you learn a skill that helps you with autonomy. You learn a skill that helps you through the repetition of something. Jupiter in the 6th house. Through the repetition of something, you learn some lessons and you gain autonomy. And as you do so, you gain perspective on everything that was so frightening before. So you'll never have to pry away so forcefully. You'll just get to leave a situation, and if it's not suitable for you, and you're more empowered now because you have your skill, you have the thing that you know how to do. Okay, so here are 6 cards from the Art of Love Tarot, and this is for your romantic outlook, and I'm going to put them on top of these cards to clarify. So we have the Five of Trees with the Queen of Swords. So yeah, this situation or this relationship, possibly with an air sign, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, would have felt very claustrophobic for you. It would have felt like this person, like their control, they like to push control onto you and micromanage you, as I said. They could have been a narcissist. It's not necessarily an air sign at this point if we're describing it this way, but it's a legacy of huge power disequality between yourself and someone else. And so someone was basically putting a knife to your neck and saying, do this, and manipulating you and using such things as traumatic bonding or Stockholm syndrome in order to get you to cooperate, manipulate, and coerce you. And then we have the Four of Stars. Okay, so the Four of Stars is the Four of Wands. So somewhere in there you saw, it's almost picture like a meadow. Picture a meadow in the dark, right? And you don't see anything. And then somewhere out in the distance, you see the light from a house just kind of out in a clearing, right? And you go towards that safety. But it's not something sure. It's not something that you feel confident about. But it feels inviting and warm. And so you head in that direction because what you're leaving behind is cold and desolate. And then the death card, or excuse me, the devil card is the awakening or the emergence, which is kind of fighting, breaking through the walls of the devil. This is the house of the devil. In really traditional tarot, this is the house of the devil. It's not the devil, it's the house. So think of walls, right? So you're breaking through the walls to something of the past, something you've denied yourself many, many years ago, possibly as a child. That's why I was picking up on childhood neglect, abuse, all those things, because I feel like in a certain respect, this was attached to you for a long time, so long, in fact, that you no longer associated with it. So this is the awakening card. It's called the emergence here, but this is also the last judgment, which is ruled by Pluto. So it's funny that I said death, because death is the card of Scorpio, which is also ruled by Pluto. So this seems as though, like, ooh, who wants to see the devil in a Jupiter reading, right? But I feel like you're breaking through a wall and you're remembering something that you had forgotten while all these things were happening to you, okay? Next, you have the Ten of Flames, and so we see the Three of Trees. I feel as though you'll have to spend some time working really hard without necessarily too much promise, but you see the silver lining both here and here. That light is shining for you, and you'll just have to work hard and dig in your heels to achieve the things that you want to achieve, and the consequence of this will be that there will be an outcome that you desire. In terms of love, because I did tell you guys this was going to be a love reading, but it ended up really clarifying the other. I feel like maybe through the whole process you will see kind of like a vision of what you want in relationships, but I think it may not be quite time for you to materialize it or manifest it, because I think that you still have to do internal work, and you don't want to bring baggage from the past into the current circumstance, right? So I think that you have to do a little bit of internal work and reinforce your own autonomy before you can pursue this direction. Here is the next card. We have the Five of Angels. So there's a lot of strife and struggle. The fives are here. So this is like the Five of Swords. You have to let go of something. You have to make a mark for yourself about who you are and where you stand. And I feel like as you make a mark on this, as you identify what your virtues are, what your skill set is, you define who you are in the world. So even if it feels arbitrary, really stick to the skill or stick to the thing that you're learning, and follow through with it to make sure that you're really good at that thing. Other things will fade away or fall away as a byproduct of this. And I'm picking up that it will be both skills, other skills that you will not have time to address, and people and situations as well. Your last card is we have the Death card. So that's what is not strange that it came up. So this is the card of Scorpio, and this is the card of Metamorphosis. So I feel as you gain awareness on these past situations, they will no longer bind you in the same way as they have before. So you'll be much more free to become a whole different person. It really feels here like we're reading about a situation in which you were so suppressed by circumstance that you no longer even identified with what freedom was. And so now you are breaking away and relearning, like baby steps, to a new direction that is more truly you. You're no longer answering to another person. You're no longer answering to the person who has that knife to your throat. Okay, so let me show you this again in terms of astrology, and then we're going to do our special surprise, which you guys want to stick around for. And if you haven't liked the video yet, please like it now. I just want to show you guys the astrology because I think I skimmed over it a little bit. But here we have all these transits and Pluto here in your 7th house of partnership. This is like, it makes sense for anybody who knows astrology, but I suppose if you don't know astrology, then it can be like, what is she talking about? Pluto is like a power planet, and it's all about power, power equality. And so since it's been in your 7th house, you've been dealing with a lot of partnership issues, a lot of relationship issues that are kind of cornerstone in power and power dynamics. So either somebody had suppressed you or you had suppressed someone else, and in doing so, I feel like maybe this has really touched on some deeper issues. Now, Pluto's a healthy planet, it's nature, right? So with it being in your 7th house, it's not there to just exert power in your life. It's there to help you heal and understand and tend towards healthy power rather than power that is associated with, you know, abuse and neglect and all those things we talked about. So this is Jupiter coming into your 6th house, and I think this is going to be about a year and a half worth of transits, maybe even more so. Let's give it 2 years, 2 months, because that's Jupiter through Capricorn as well. So in this leg of the journey, I feel like Jupiter that's what it's teaching you, autonomous skills that you're meant to learn. So anything that is coming through as an opportunity to learn, I think you should follow through with it. Okay, so that was a bit long, but I think that for you guys, we hit the nail on the head. So I hope this helps. But now I'm going to do my little surprise for you guys. If you guys are one of my OGs, then you know that I used to do this thing where we made a wish. And so since Jupiter is moving into Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, it feels like New Year's. Hey girl, hey, let's do this up. So this is my sparkler, and I'm going to light it, and you're going to make a wish, and then I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful year, okay? So I hope so. Wouldn't that suck if this lighter didn't work? Okay, so I literally have one lighter. Anyway, so I wish for you guys all the best. Thank you for supporting me in the channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful year. I'm going to also post a video. I hope you guys are wishing. I hope you guys, I'm going to post a video also on the North Node moving into Cancer and the South Node into Capricorn. That's going to be in your playlist down below. So go check that out. Your 2019 videos are out. This reading is good for November 2018 through December 2019. So I wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much, Cancers, and I will talk with you soon, okay? This is supposed to be 10 minutes. Bye. Bye. Hey Cancer, thank you for joining me and welcome to this reading for the North Node that is happening in your 2nd house. So watch this reading if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer, or if you already have the North Node in your 2nd house. The 2nd house is governed by wealth and resources, and the North Node moving into Leo in the 2nd house is going to give you quite the taste for luxury living, quite the taste for comfort and security, doing things over the top in order to secure resources, etc. It's quite a nice transit and a nice placement to have the North Node transiting. The North Node enters into Leo on April 28, 2017 and will be there until November 2018. So let's take a look at some cards first to get grounded and get familiar with the energies. I've pre-shuffled the cards just to save time. The first card is the King of Air. So this governs a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. The South Node is currently transiting into Aquarius, which is your 8th house. So there might be significant transitions around Aquarian people who are already in your life. If you don't have Aquarian people, then maybe you can focus on shared resources and resources that have been given to you by somebody else. Here is the next message. We have the ego communication. So you've just completed a cycle of the North Node transiting through your 3rd house of communication. And so now it is learned all the lessons that you've had to learn, and it's moved on to your 2nd house, and you can bring whatever skills you've gained by that transit and now can apply them to secure for yourself more wealth. Also, it's important to recognize that the North Node is a spiritual transit more so than a practical one. This is going to give you a set of expectations or thoughts in which you focus upon money, resources, and beauty in your life for the next year and a half. Here is the next message, and we have the Archangel Raphael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself at this time, Cancer. This is a time for you to blossom and to nourish yourself. Remember, with the South Node in the 8th house, we are dealing with themes of death and endings. And the South Node is connected to our karma, whereas our North Node is connected to Dharma. And so the karma that we're bringing in could be one of transition that brings certain presets or certain experiences to our body or to our appearance. So therefore, taking care of ourselves should be very important at this time. So the transition happens alongside a fixed star called Regulus. This is a very auspicious transit. The fixed star Regulus is right here, right between Leo and Virgo. I think it's at 0 degrees Virgo at this time. The stars do move just very, very minute increments. And so basically Regulus allows you to come into the 2nd house with your North Node with red carpet entry. Regulus is a fixed star associated with kings and rulership. So you come into this transit with really high esteem. The transit will also be supported by a wonderful grand trine energy that will last between April 2017 and October 2017. I'm actually talking about this a lot more in my Saturn retrograde video if you want to check that out in more detail. But for you, this is affecting your career and social life, where Uranus is unpacking alternative ways to gain success in your career and social life. And then also Saturn and Cupido in the 6th house. This is going to be really cute for you because it's going to allow for you to possibly meet potential partners on a day-to-day basis. Saturn's not so fun, but Saturn will move on after this period, and actually this grand trine energy will really soften Saturn out. Saturn is also in retrograde between April 6th and August 25th. So you will actually be feeling the lesser effects of Saturn during this time. The focus of this grand trine energy is supportive, allowing transition and transformation in these areas of your life that will create effects for you that are financial in nature. So if you follow suit, you'll have a good time. There's also a Rosetta Stone here that affects your social life, where Ceres and Mars are, and your Chiron and Venus up in the MC line, which is to do with your public persona, public belief systems, and then also the 6th house, which has to do with day-to-day activities. So the Rosetta actually allows you to make mistakes and transform those mistakes. So if you are making mistakes that are social in nature, maybe through your belief systems or the like, this transit will help you go over the mistakes several times before you catch the lesson. Otherwise, the nodes would create a T-square on Ceres and Mars. This is conjunct a fixed star called Algol. This could potentially lead you into very severe conflicts with people. However, I don't want you to worry about that because the Rosetta will be supportive, allowing you to avoid most of those mishaps. The other energy that is with us at the beginning of this transit is the kite formation. The kite formation has a tail, which is the south node in this case, and a nose, which is the north node. And so the south node, which is quick and drastic change of karma, the source energy that you bring into the world, pushes forward into your material house. This allows Cancer through this time period, particularly in April, to really, April through October, to transition very quickly from one state to reliance on external forces to reliance on the self. It's a pretty exciting transit that you should be really excited about and happy for. I forgot to mention that there are a couple more transits that are more serious in nature. In January and February 2018, there are going to be hard aspects on your second house. My advice for you is to get ready for those 2 months, save up money and extra resources. I'm not predicting that something horrible will happen, but you definitely want to be prepared. Secondly, we have a Yod in May 2018. That's a significant one when Saturn is in the 7th house of partnership. So this is going to happen when Saturn transits into Capricorn, and in May 2018 will be very close to Pluto also. So in your house of partnership, you know how much upheaval there has been. This is going to be a tough process for Cancer. However, I know you guys can get through it, and the lessons that you gain from it are going to really help you along past this period. It's a real growth time for you the next 2.5 years with regard to partnership, and this Yod alongside the North Node will really help you understand what healthy partnership is all about and what healthy dynamics that you want to look for. Okay, so let's take a look at your tarot cards. Your first card is... So we have the 10 of coins. Like I said, you start off with really a trumpet call and a lot of success. Maybe there's somebody who has been supporting you all this time, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. You feel really on top of your game. You have a lot of resources. It's generally a really fun time. The next message is the 5 of coins in the center. Worry about the future. How is it all going to come together if it doesn't come together right now? There is no promise of the future. In fact, this is not a grown deer. This is a baby deer that Alice is petting. And so just like the baby deer, there's this kind of idea of not being sure exactly how the success will materialize. It's important for you to communicate and open up yourself to people around you, particularly people with whom you have dealings, and later on in 2018, your partners. Express your concerns and your fears, and that will really help you make connections with them and identify with them the things that you are worried about so that you can work those things out, rather than leaving up a guessing game in which nobody knows what's going on and everybody loses trust. Here is the next message. We have the 3 of Cups. There will be a certain degree of celebration. So some people will really want to celebrate, have fun. I think that for you, you're going to be drawn away from celebration with others and more within celebration of the self. So the mind, body, and spirit will celebrate together in order to produce better outcomes, just like here. You know, the coming together of mind, body, and spirit in order to gain insight about the circumstances that you are looking at. The next card that I have for you, Cancer, is the Queen of Swords. There's a lot of sword energy around you, Cancer, and there is not many transits, except the South Node, which is in Aquarius. So I do feel as though there'll be an emphasis on the South Node. We will do a video on the South Node later on, so we'll take a better understanding of that. However, there is someone who is providing you care and support at this time, and you will be successful in whatever direction you take. Here is the next message. We have the Lovers card. And so with this Lovers card, this is the card of Gemini. So take a look at maybe Gemini people. This could be the Queen of Swords or the King of Air. So I think that these people will greatly influence you. Also, family is emphasized here. Although you don't have significant transits in your 4th house, with the exception of Jupiter, which is in your 4th house until November this year, and will go direct after June. So hopefully you'll get some benefit and growth in your home and family life. Maybe some of you Cancers are thinking about what it actually takes to start a family. Not only the financial, physical things, but also the ideas and the points of connection. And I think that makes you wonder about what you can bring into the situation, and how to solicit a reciprocal relationship with the people who are around you. Like, will they actually equally help you out? Here is the next message. And we have the Hermit. So this is the card of Virgo. And so again, we have the 3rd house. For you, Cancer, I will show you on your chart. The 3rd house of communication is your Virgo house. So for you, it's all about communication with the North Node, still refining communication, tailoring it in order to get your financial goals met. Here is your next card. And we have the Hydrangea. So we have Powerful Witch, Broken Hex, Fertility, Fidelity, and Bond. So maybe you are either breaking a hex that was upon you, getting in touch with a powerful witch or someone of great influence. There is great amount of fertility, fidelity, and growing of bonds for you at this time. That means you're growing together with other people. I think that what's going on is that there is a real deep foundation of trust and understanding between yourself and others. And by being forthright, by being genuine the way that you are, you're really soliciting the intellectual support of others, and that's the manner through which you communicate. The first message is the Sun, so really make sure that you are following the Sun throughout this transit and other transits. The Sun is going to be very important for you at this time. Of course, during a 1.5 year period, we're going to have the Sun circle all around the zodiac, so it's pointless to pinpoint one time period. However, whenever the Sun is in positive aspect to your natal plans, you will get more benefit and more growth in those areas of your life. Next, look out for the sign of Scorpio. Again, Scorpio is governing your 5th house, and so with Scorpio, we are looking at romantic pursuits. Although I feel as though you're not going to be as excited about potential romantic pursuits as you had been in the past. I think you're going to be quite tentative about them or towards them. The next message is, so here we have the solar plexus, right? So we have drive, determination, moving forward, being confident about what you wish to pursue. I think, Cancer, that at this time it's important for you to push forward into relationships regardless of what you think they will give to you. I think that you will find great success, prominence, growth, and potential, but you also have to be always willing to go out on a limb and do your own thing as well, regardless of what other people think about. Make sure that your healing is first and foremost through this time period. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Cancer. Have a wonderful transit of North Node in your 2nd house of Leo. Take care. Bye. Good luck.